A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all-old-time radio.
Kroger Tender-Ray beef. No other beef so fresh can be so tender. Presents Hearts in Harmony, transcribed. Ladies, now that Christmas is just a memory, you may be wondering what to have for dinner tonight. Well, here's a suggestion that will make a big hit with everyone. Serve beef, Kroger quality beef, and watch your family enjoy its fragrant goodness. Yes, if you want to be sure tonight's dinner will click with the folks at your house, just as your Christmas feast did, then visit your Kroger store, step up to the counter, and get Kroger quality beef. The beef you can buy with confidence because it's the very best beef currently available. What a wonderful thrill for your family when you sit them down to a dinner of thick, juicy steak, crusty brown roast beef, savory beef stew, or delicious boiled beef with horseradish as the main dish. What a comfort to you to know that your dinner is not only nutritious and wholesome, but it's just the kind of dinner your folks were hoping for, too. So be sure to visit your Kroger store soon and get Kroger quality beef. It's just right for your dinner time needs. Don't delay. Buy Kroger quality beef. It's delicious. And now, Hearts in Harmony. In an effort to help Penny to forget her worries a little while, Freddie Lang and Nora Williams have taken Penny and Pat's infant daughter Valerie to the Williams farm for the day. They've just entered the living room of the ramshackle farmhouse, and Nora says,
Miss Gibbs, this is my Daddy. Daddy, this is Miss Gibbs.
Oh, how do you do?
Hello, Miss Gibbs.
Oh, and Daddy, this is Freddie Lang.
How are you, Freddie?
How'd you do?
Well, sit down, both of you, and make yourselves comfortable if you can.
I'll throw the carcass over here.
Better not over there, young man. I haven't got around to fixing the leg on that chair yet.
Oh, Daddy, it's been months and it'd take only a few minutes to fix it.
I will one of these days, Nora. One of these days. Will the baby be all right over there by the fire, Miss Gibbs?
Oh, yes, I'm quite sure she will, Mr. Williams. In fact, I think she'd be quite safe anywhere in here. The house is lovely and warm.
Well, if it's warm, I think that's all that counts. Doesn't matter how a place looks, does it, as long as you can live in it. At least it makes living in it easy.
Oh, yes, it does.
Excuse me, Daddy, but I think I'll take Freddie outside and show him around the place. He's never seen a farm.
Oh, sure I have, Nora. In the movies I did. And they look better that way, too.
Freddie Lang, you promised you'd let me show you around.
You would remember that, wouldn't you, Nora? Okay, come on. Let's get it over with.
That's better. Excuse us, will you?
Go right ahead, Nora.
Of course, Nora.
This way, Freddie.
Okay, but make this a short story, will you, Cricket?
Oh, just a minute, Freddie. I want to say something to Daddy. Please, I know it's not polite, but I just have to whisper something.
Oh, it's quite all right, Nora.
Thank you, Miss Gibbs. Daddy, please apologize to Miss Gibbs for not shaving.
What?
Please, Dad.
Why should I?
Because you should, that's why. Do it, Daddy. It's just as if you promised.
I didn't promise anything.
Come on, Freddie. I'll show you a few things. I'll just bet you never saw that big old city you came from.
Well, of all things, how do you like that?
How do I like what, Mr. Williams?
You know what my daughter just whispered to me, Miss Gibbs?
No, and I don't think she intends for me to know.
Well, I think I'll tell you. She said I should apologize to you for not shaving this morning.
Oh, no, she didn't really.
She did. You'll tell her I apologized, will you?
It really isn't necessary.
Oh, but it is, Miss Gibbs. Nora was quite anxious for me to make a good impression on you. I suppose with this beard, I failed her now. But if you must know, Miss Gibbs, I just didn't feel like shaving this morning. In fact, I seldom do.
I imagine it's a terrible nuisance.
It is. Well, looks as if the fire needs another log. Do you think I can let it burn down for the time being?
Oh, I think so. It's quite...
No, I better not do that. It'll be twice the work getting it started again if I let it go down now. This log should burn a long time.
Oh,
Yeah.
isn't that beautiful?
Yes, there's beauty in an open fire, Miss Gibbs, but there's too much work in making one and endless effort in keeping one going. When I'm rich, I think I'll put in an automatic stoker and have the fireplace sealed up.
Oh, no, Mr. Williams, not that beautiful fireplace.
Well, I won't, Miss Gibbs, not if I have to do the work myself. Nora's probably told you about my allergy, hasn't she?
Allergy?
To work, Miss Gibbs. Too bad, too, because if only for Nora's sake, I ought to try to make something of myself. She deserves more than a useless father.
Oh, Mr. Williams, I think that
Don't try to give me any excuses for myself, Miss Gibbs. I'm quite handy at providing my own. I know what's the matter with me. My trouble is I just don't care to do anything about it. You want to look around the farm with Nora and her friend?
Oh, I think Nora will take me around a little later, don't you?
Don't bother if she doesn't ask you, Miss Gibbs. Nothing to see. I can't understand why Nora thinks there is. Nothing out there at all, just a dairy farm falling apart like its owner. Yep, just rusting.
Well, Nora, we got the barn door open, but it ain't never going to close again. Looks like we busted it.
Well, don't worry about it, Freddie. Daddy won't even notice it.
Well, if it was my barn, I'd raise a fuss about it.
Does this place look as if Daddy cared much about it?
Well, he oughta, because he's got some layout here. It's a mess, sure. It's fallen apart at the hinges and busted out at the seams, but, boy, it must have been a slick place once.
Mr. Heather from the farm across the road said this was Rossville's finest dairy farm about 10 years ago.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if it wasn't the finest, I'll bet it sure was about the biggest. They don't come any bigger than this, do they?
Well, I don't know. I don't know much about dairies except what I learned in school.
Well, I practically never went to school. But I can look around this joint. I guess this is where they milk the cows, huh?
Yes, I know that much.
Yeah, me too. Hey, look, kid. All the stuff is still there. The things you milk with and everything, I mean. Get some of that junk off of there and clean it up a little. I'll bet it'll still work, too.
Oh, almost everything works, Freddie, a little bit. Especially in the dairy room.
Dairy room? What's that?
Well, maybe that's not what it's really called, but I call it that. It's in here. You want to see it?
Yeah, sure. Come on.
It's this door here.
Okay.
Oh, dear. It's stuck, too. I guess you don't want to bother seeing it anyhow, huh?
Oh, come on, Nora. Let's go have a look at it. Well, this joint is kind of getting me.
Oh, crickets, is it?
Yes, it is. You know, I ain't never seen a dairy before. Hey, let me try that door.
All right.
Let's go now. This one wasn't stuck too much.
At least we didn't break it the way we did the other one.
Hey, giggle again like that, will you, kid? You know, I like that.
Freddie Lang, you stop teasing me.
Oh.
Now, come on, let's see the dairy room or whatever it is.
Hey, what a mess of machinery. And what a mess, too.
Yes, isn't it just simply awful? But golly, I'll bet it was beautiful once.
Yeah, I guess so. Hey, I know what goes on in here.
You do?
Yeah, sure.
But, Crickets, I thought you didn't know anything about a dairy.
I don't, but I got eyes, ain't I? Now, look, you got to do something to milk to make it safe or something, don't you?
You pasteurize it. Oh, Crickets, I know that, too.
Well, you went to school, and I hope you know it. Well, that's the thing you do in here.
What?
Hey, you see that big steel cabinet over there?
Yeah.
And that one over there?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the furnace that makes the steam that heats the cabinet and stuff.
Oh, golly, yeah.
And over there, that thing with the twisted pipes, I'll bet you that's a cooler. You don't put hot milk in bottles, do you?
I don't know.
Well, I don't know neither. I'll bet that's what it is. Hey, look over there, kid.
Where?
That long rack, see it?
Oh.
Bet that's where the bottles go down to get filled up with milk.
Oh, yes. I saw one of those in the movies once. The bottles go down the rack and around that funny machine over there.
Uh-huh.
And all of a sudden, they're full of milk.
That's right. And then the bottles pass the machine, all capped and everything else.
Uh-huh.
And then they get put into crates. And then they go out the doors over there. They put them on the trucks and they get... Hey, wait. Where's the bottle sterilizer?
The what?
The bottle sterilizer. You know, where they clean bottles before they fill them up. I guess that's out in the other room. Let's see now. The bottle rack goes through the little door in the wall over here. Yep, there she is, Nora. And there's even stacks or crates full of bottles down there. You know, this joint's got everything in it but milk and a crew of men to operate it.
Freddie, you talk as if you'd like to see this place running again.
I sure would. Hey, Nora, what's the matter with that old man of yours? Huh? Is he off his nut or something? He's got a gold mine right here in his own backyard, and he's just letting it go to rot.
Oh, I don't think he even knows what's here. And even if he does, I know he doesn't want to do anything about it.
Well, maybe somebody ought to give that old man of yours a kick in the pants. I got nothing to lose. Maybe I'm the one who ought to give him the food he needs. You got everything out there, Mr. Williams. You got just everything. You got the works. Now, look, all you need to do is to take that...
I know all I need, Mr. Lang. I need a herd, for one thing. That takes money. I need to repair and reinstall the equipment. That takes money.
Yeah.
And I need a crew of men. That takes money.
Yeah.
And I'll have to manage the place. That takes ambition. Money I think I could get, but ambition, well...
No, Mr. Williams, Fred is right. There is a wonderful opportunity for you, right in your own backyard.
Opportunities have to be taken before they mean anything, Miss Gibbs.
Well, here's one that you ought to take, Mr. Williams. You know, this joint of yours could be fixed up really great. Well, I bet you could have it in full operation in maybe a couple of months, maybe less.
Oh, I realize that, son, but that takes money and effort.
But, Daddy, it could be such a wonderful thing.
Yes, I suppose, Nora, but...
But nothing, Mr. Williams. Now, look, you don't savvy what's out there, do you? I'll bet you that there's $100,000 worth of machines and gadgets out there just going to waste. Well, you're off your nut if you don't do something about that.
You sound as if you'd like to do something with it yourself.
If it was mine, I would.
You mean you'd go to all the trouble of cleaning the place up and putting yourself in debt for a loan to buy a herd and delivery trucks and...
Listen,
Hey.
I bust my neck for something like what you got out there, and you don't even know it. Me, I'm a no-account guy who hates to work.
Oh, yeah, are you?
Mm-hmm.
How old are you, son?
Just 22.
But, Daddy, he's awfully old for 22.
Well, if he's just 22, at 22, he's old enough, Nora. I like your enthusiasm for that pile of scrap in my backyard, son. Tell you what.
What?
I'll shave tomorrow and put on my good suit and go into town to the bank and see if I can get a loan.
To fix the dairy and run it, Daddy?
Yes, Nora. You'd like that, wouldn't you?
Oh, crickets, Daddy. It'd be just super.
Oh. What do you think, Miss Gibbs?
I think it would be wonderful, Mr. Williams. And I also think you'd never regret it.
I hope not. And, as for you, Mr. Lang, you talked me into this, so you talked yourself into it, too.
Well, gee, that's great, Mr. Williams, but... Well, I already got a job.
Well, quit it, whatever it is. If I get that loan at the bank, I'm going to put my dairy in operation, and you're going to be my manager.
Oh,
Huh?
Freddie, isn't that just scrumptious?
Scrumptious, kid. Say, listen, Cricket, you don't know the half of it. I ain't got words enough to tell you how I feel down inside.
Well, Freddie Lang has certainly made a worthy contribution to Nora Williams' future. Will Mr. Williams get the loan at the bank? And how will Nora's father fit into the life of Penny Gibbs? Be sure to listen to the next dramatic episode of Heart in Harmony. Ladies, want to have an out-of-this-world dinner for your family? A dinner equal to your Christmas feast? Then get beef. Kroger quality beef at your Kroger store. Kroger quality beef is deliciously tender and juicy, and it's your 100% correct answer to what shall I have for dinner. Surprise them by serving boiled beef with a tangy horseradish sauce to enhance the goodness of savory meat. Delight them with roast beef that's crusty brown and juicy red, nestling in a pool of its own rich brown juice. Or satisfy those vigorous appetites with a magnificently thick steak, the classic dinner dish that makes any meal a success. There's nothing quite like a delicious beef dinner to welcome your family home from the day's work. So visit your Kroger store and get Kroger quality beef. Now your local announcer.
In just a moment, X-1. But first, everything from famous criminals to accidents in the home will be covered tomorrow when the staff of NBC's Weekday brings you another day of informative and entertaining listening. And back again to greet you as new hostess is charming Virginia Graham, well loved by every radio and television fan. There'll be big guest stars, too, headliners in every field. Mel Torme, singing sensation. Gladys Cooper, prominent Broadway actress, and many others. Treat yourself to the best daytime entertainment with NBC's Weekday tomorrow. And now stay tuned for X-1 on NBC. countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in 1,000,000 could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight's story, Hello Tomorrow. After the Third Atomic War, when the Earth was a mass of red radioactive dust, a handful of men and women went deep underground in the struggle for survival. A new civilization was built deep underground, a civilization which must keep a ceaseless vigil against the deadly gamma rays which filter down through the Earth. A civilization where the prime consideration is the genetic survival of the race. It is to this civilization in the year of our Lord, 4195, that we take you now.
Professor Lois Burton?
Yes.
I have a call from the Director of Emotional Stability for the Third Oblong. Go ahead, sir. Hello, darling.
Hello, dear. How is the Director of Emotional Stability? My, how impressive that sounds.
Don't joke, dear. You never know who may be listening.
Sorry. How are you? You sound tired.
Well, we've had some bad cases. Mostly frantic mothers who insist on imparting their feelings to children. I suspect it's chromosomes affected by gamma ray leakage from the surface, but the head of the psychotechnic division says they're glandular cases. But that isn't why I called. I have good news.
What is it?
The genetic board has approved our application for marriage.
So soon?
Our chromosomes tested perfect. We can marry any time we want. As a geneticist, you should know that our offspring should be 90 percentile of perfection.
I know.
What's the matter? You are happy about it, aren't you?
Of course. Terribly happy.
I'm coming right over to the lab.
You'll have to give me some time.
What's the trouble?
No trouble. You know that genetic survey I've been working on?
What about it?
Well, I've finally gotten permission to study an actual living case, a specimen of imperfect genetic transmission.
Really?
They're bringing him, or it, up from the condemned cages on the lower level.
You will be careful.
There's nothing to be afraid of. The specimen is XJ12. It's been studied before many times and is quite well trained. Oh, there's my door signal. I'll have to hang up, darling. See you later. Yes?
Professor Burton?
Yes.
I'm from the Phylogenic Institute.
Oh, you brought my specimen?
May I come in?
By all means. Oh, how...
Horrible? It all depends on your viewpoint. I happen to have a twisted leg. My parents were genetically unsound.
But then you...
Yes, I am specimen XJ12.
I see.
I hope you aren't shocked.
No stable person permits feelings to enter into his work. I will admit to surprise. I was expecting something a little more abnormal.
Well, I try to be as abnormal as possible. It pays off. The Phylogenic Institute allows me out of the genetic cages ever so often so I can breathe the pure air of the upper levels and mingle with the genetically perfect.
You seem quite well educated.
I spent the first years of my life here in the upper levels.
How is that possible?
As a small child, my mother concealed me from the director of heredity. My mother actually, dreadful word, loved me.
That would explain your obviously low threshold of emotional control.
If you choose to call it that. You seem to be struggling to repress a few feelings yourself.
We will confine ourselves to the impersonal aspects of our work.
As you please.
I shall require you as a demonstration for a lecture I'm delivering to one of my classes tomorrow.
At your service.
Sit here, please. grip these electrodes tightly. I'm going to calibrate your electrochemical tension.
I'm quite familiar with the procedure. I realize that as an imperfect I am expendable, but I should hate to be electrocuted.
The charge is not lethal. Plus 15 surface tension.
You know, you have beautiful hair.
Plus 12 at a depth of 4 centimeters. My hair meets minimal requirements for the genetic code.
Lovely blue eyes. Crystal clear.
Plus 10 at 7 centimeters.
Pretty. A perfect woman. Lovely expressive hands. And a heart of stone. Like all the rest of you perfect survival types.
Shut up.
Oh, could it be you do have feelings?
I seem to sense an air of emotional tension.
It's nothing, dear. This is the specimen.
You, specimen. Tell this dolt who I am, Lois.
This is the Director of Emotional Stability for the Third Oblong. You will address him as Mr. Director.
Mr. Director.
This creature seems quite impertinent.
He's only a specimen, darling.
Well, use him and ship him back to the cages. He's probably radioactive.
Attention, attention. The next demonstration will be conducted by Professor Lois Burton of the Institute of Genetics. Her topic, the probability of radioactive damage in the chromosome heredity of imperfect non-survival types. Professor Burton.
As you know, most imperfects are destroyed at birth. However, those who for one reason or another manage to survive are segregated in cages on the lower level for study purposes. The specimen we have today has been trained to tell in his own words about the factors in his upbringing. You will have to forgive his immature emotional control factor. He is, as you can see, quite different. Specimen XJ12. You will proceed, please.
Thank you. My mother was a psychotechnician in the Fifth Oblong. My father was an historian specializing in the records of pre-atomic surface culture. In the earthquake of 2170, apparently some hard radiation filtered down through the tunnels and penetrated the Fifth Oblong. The effect on my hereditary factors is quite apparent in this twisted leg. My father taught me in the last days before he was executed that every human personality is born with certain inalienable natural rights. The rights to have feelings, the right to mature, and above all, the right to be different from every other living organism. Because it cannot be otherwise, I submit to you, distinguished students, that the attempt by this society to abridge these rights is a violation of nature. I submit that the imperfects, the mutants, those who are different, have as much right to exist and be free as you. And I say break open the cages.
Stop him!
Give us back the right to be individuals.
Stop him!
Oh!
Perhaps that will teach you. Professor Burton, take this specimen back to your laboratory and confine him.
Hold still while I bandage your head.
Oh.
You'll be all right.
I suppose you detest me for getting you into trouble.
I don't detest you.
What?
I don't know why, but as you spoke, something began to stir in me.
Tell me what you feel. If I moved you, then I must have moved the others, some of them at least.
For some reason, I took pride in what you were doing, seeing you stand up against them. Why do you look at me like that?
I can't help it.
I wish you wouldn't. You're only an imperfect, you know. Please.
My name is Orrin.
Please.
Say it. Orrin.
Orrin.
Again.
Orrin.
Lois.
Orion.
Lois.
How touching.
Walter.
I've been listening for some time.
Walter, how could you?
In my capacity as Director of Emotional Stability, it is my duty.
What are you going to do?
Specimen XJ12 will be disposed of quite systematically by the state. For the good of the state, for the good of the genetic code, and in the name of emotional stability.
Walter, I have to talk to you.
Go right ahead.
Walter, you mustn't destroy him.
The specimen? Why not?
He's emotionally unstable. You have to expect irrational behavior.
Aren't you forgetting something, my dear? That you were responding in much the same manner? Or had you forgotten? You see, I'm having him liquidated for your sake. He has an upsetting effect on you.
Then send him back to the cages. But don't kill him.
You speak of destroying an inferior creature as if it was something unethical.
Walter, please, for my sake.
I understand that you have entered a plea for postponement of marriage at the Records Bureau.
Yes. I was too upset to go through with it.
It came as a great disappointment to me.
I'm sorry.
I was hoping that, linked to a stable personality such as mine, you might settle down. If you were married to me, I might even be persuaded to send him back to the cages instead of having him destroyed. Think it over.
If I refuse?
The choice is yours. Well, my dear?
Perhaps you're right.
I am.
I suppose I ought to be rational about this. After all, he's an imperfect.
I'm glad you've come to your senses.
When can we be married?
Tomorrow, if you like.
The sooner the better.
Let me talk to the custodian, please. Hello. This is the Director of Emotional Stability for the Third Oblong. I would like you to cancel the execution of specimen XJ12. Turn him over to be remanded permanently to the genetic cages. You'd better go. I'll pick you up in, say, an hour, and we'll make plans. All right?
Yes. Yes, of course.
Hello. This is the Director of Emotional Stability again. I want you to cancel that last order. Proceed with the execution, but under conditions of absolute secrecy. No, don't use the lethal chamber. Take him through the upper level to the tunnels. Yes. Yes, I'll issue a pass for the radiation checkpoint.
Into the elevator. Very well. Why are we going toward the surface? The cages are on the lower levels. Radiation check. I've never done that before. New procedure. Walk.
Halt. You can't go beyond this point. There is radioactivity in the tunnels.
I have a pass from the Director of Emotional Stability for the Third Oblong. Special mission.
I'll open the airlock.
March inside. Turn around.
So this is how they get rid of the imperfects. Now, before you dispose of me...
Yes?
This.
Help! Security! Security!
What is it? What's happened?
The prisoner struck me. He escaped into the tunnels.
He won't last long.
Can you go after him?
I could send a robot, but it isn't worth the trouble. There's no way back from the tunnels except through here. The only other direction he can go is toward the surface. And the closer he gets, the hotter the radiation. No. I think you can consider your prisoner officially dead.
No, thank you, Walter.
You look very beautiful, my dear. Very beautiful.
Thank you.
The wedding will be a small affair. The director of endocrine control, the chief of the security guard.
Walter.
Yes?
Was he returned to the cages?
Oh, now, why must you spoil it?
Was he, Walter?
Well, as a matter of fact, there was a little difficulty.
Difficulty?
Yes, you see, XJ-12 escaped.
How? Where?
He struck a guard and ran off into the tunnels.
The tunnels? But that's sure death.
He's free to return any time he chooses. Now, don't become upset, darling.
You planned it, didn't you, Walter?
Stability, darling, stability.
Stability. Here's what I think of stability.
Halt! State your business.
I'm Professor Burton of the Genetic Institute.
You can't go into the tunnels, Professor.
You'll have to let me by. I'm the fiancée of the Director of Emotional Stability.
Oh. I suppose you're after the one who escaped?
Yes.
He's quite dangerous, I understand.
I'm well armed.
Wouldn't it be better to send a robot?
I'm quite capable of handling him. He was my subject.
All right, miss. It's your risk. Checkpoint.
This is the Director of Emotional Stability.
Yes, sir.
If Professor Burton tries to pass the checkpoint, I want her taken into custody.
Professor Burton just passed her.
You idiot!
But, sir, she said that
I
she
don't
had...
care what she said. Stop her. Send robots after her. Get her back.
Yes, sir. At once, sir. Robot control. Checkpoint to robot control. Order out all televocal robots into the tunnels. Have them bring back any humans. This is a first priority order.
Oren, where are you? Oren.
Hello?
Oren, it's Lois.
This way. Behind the rock. Over here.
Oh, darling.
Lois, why did you come here? It's suicide.
I had to. Oh, darling, are you all right?
So far.
You've got to turn back. Give yourself up.
They'll kill
You
me.
can't stay here. The radiation is +4 at this point. It gets worse as you approach the surface.
Lois, darling, go back.
What will you do?
I'm going ahead.
But you can't.
I can. I'm going to the surface.
It's certain death. Not even the robots can survive it.
Well, at least I'll be the first human in 1,100 years to see what the surface of the Earth looks like.
Come back with me.
No, Lois.
Then I'm going with you.
Lois.
Don't try to stop me, darling. There's nothing to go back to now. Nothing but Walter and emotional stability.
You really want to come with me?
Yes.
You know what it means?
I don't care.
My mother used to believe there was a life after death. A place called heaven.
We'll believe it, too.
Oh, no, Lois, I can't let you go.
Oren, I love you. See, I know how to say it now.
Say it again.
Oren, I love you.
What's that?
It sounds like... Oren, it's a robot patrol. They're looking for us.
All right, come on. This way.
Oren, wait.
It can't be much farther, darling.
The robots. They're coming. I can see their lights now.
Listen, they've stopped.
The lights are swinging round. Oren, they see us.
Come on. Look, Lois, look ahead. You can see the lights reflecting from something.
It looks like a lead door.
Come on through. There must be some way to close it. Oh, yes, here.
Let me help.
Well, they won't get through that. It's solid lead.
Oren, I feel so strange. Where are we?
I don't know.
Look, up there. A huge round light.
Lois.
Yes, Oren.
Lois, that's Luna, the moon. We're on the surface.
How strange and red everything looks. How it glows.
It's the radioactivity.
Quiet and peaceful. And deadly.
Oh, hush, darling, hush. Sit here and rest a while.
Put your arm around me. Oren, I'm afraid. Oren, we're going to die.
Don't think about that. Just think about us. Alone. The first humans to stand on the surface of Earth in 1,100 years. That door must have been placed there by the last handful of survivors who went underground after the atomic wars.
And those other lights, the small ones, they must be stars. Oren, I'm so tired.
Go to sleep, darling. Put your head on my shoulder and sleep.
Hold me, Oren. Hold me very close. Oren?
Hmm?
Oren, wake up.
Hmm? What?
Look, it's light. The whole universe is light. Oh, Oren, how beautiful. Look.
This must be the heaven my mother talked about.
See the plants? All green and fresh. And the birds. How strange they look.
Lois, this isn't heaven.
But we must be dead, Oren. We should be dead. The radiation.
By all the laws of nature, yes.
By all the laws of nature. Oren. Oren, we're not dead. This is Earth. And we're alive. We're not going to die.
But, Lois, the radiation, it's present. You can see its effect.
Oren, did you ever hear of geotropism?
I'm not a geneticist.
There is a natural law of adaptation by which an organism will try to adjust itself to its environment by changing. It's called geotropism, don't you see?
No.
All these generations we've been bombarded by radiation filtering down through the Earth. Each successive generation must have inherited some degree of immunity.
But...
Oren, it can't hurt us. Don't you see? We're immune. We're probably the first generation to inherit sufficient immunity.
But, darling, if that's true, then we can transmit that immunity. We can pass it along to our children.
And they to their children. Come on. We'll have to find food and water.
The practical wife. Wait a minute.
What are you doing with that rock?
I want to scratch something on the outside of this lead door.
Lois and Oren.
4195 A.D.
Hello, tomorrow.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine. It was an original story by George Lefferts, starring Jan Miner and John Larkin, and directed by Daniel Sutter. Next week, A Gun for Dinosaur by L. Sprague de Camp on X-1. This is the NBC Radio Network. Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in 1,000,000, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents X-1. Tonight's story, A Gun for Dinosaur,
by L. Sprague de Camp.
Just whiskey, please. No soda.
Ice, Mr. Rivers?
Good heavens, no. I have been in America for some time, but not that long.
Well, to a fine dinosaur.
Well, now, just a moment, Mr. Seligman. I won't take you hunting late Mesozoic dinosaur.
Why not?
How much do you weigh? About 9 stone?
130 pounds.
Yeah, I thought so. It's not heavy enough.
But your advertisement. You said safaris arranged to any time period.
Well, I'll take you to any period in the Cenozoic. I'll get you a shot at any entelodont or even mammoth or mastodon. They have fine heads. But I'll jolly well not take you to the Jurassic or the Cretaceous. You're just too small.
But what's my weight got to do with it?
Look here, old boy. What did you think you were going to shoot those dinosaurs with?
Well,
Well, look over here in this case. That's my own gun, a Continental 600. That shoots a pair of Nitro Express cartridges the size of bananas. It's designed for knocking down elephant, not just wounding them, but knocking them base over apex.
Well, now, I've handled guns.
No. Look, I've been guiding hunting parties for over 20 years. But I've never known a man your size who could handle the 6.00. It knocks him over.
Well, people have killed elephant with lighter guns, even the 375.
Ah, yes, but consider an elephant weighs, well, let's say from 4 to 6 ton. You're planning to shoot reptiles weighing 2 to 3 times as much as an elephant. Now, I tell you, Mr. Seligman, I won't take anybody hunting dinosaur who can't handle a 6.00. Look, let's pour another drink and I'll tell you why. You see, I went into the partnership with the Raja about 5 years ago. I call him that because he's the hereditary monarch of Jaunpur. It means nothing, of course. We both wanted to do a bit of hunting again. And Africa's all played out. It's too civilized now. So when we heard of Professor Prohaska's time machine at Washington University, we caught the next plane to St. Louis. The foundation administering the machine had worked out an arrangement splitting the time between scientific parties and hunters who wanted to try their luck at prehistoric game. Hunters paid through the nose, of course, to support the project. Well, it was about our 5th safari that Courtney James showed up. He's what you chaps call a playboy, a big bloke, handsome in a way, florid, beginning to turn to fat. He was on his 4th wife. And when he showed up at the office with a blonde, I assumed that this was the 4th Mrs. James. And he left her in the outer office and corrected my assumption.
Bunny? Oh, no, she's not my wife. My wife is in Mexico, I think, getting a divorce. But Bunny here would like to go along.
I'm sorry. We don't take ladies. Not to the late Mesozoic.
If she wants to go, she'll go. She skis and flies my airplane, so why shouldn't she?
There are enough risks at 85 million BC without adding to them. I'm sorry, but it's against the firm's policy.
Now, look here. I'm paying you a lot of money. I'm entitled...
You can't hire me to do anything against my best judgment. Now, if that's how you feel, get another guide.
All right. But let me tell you...
Oh, it ended with my telling him to get out of the office or I'd throw him out. And I was thinking sadly of all that lovely money that James would have paid me. When in came another side, an August Holsinger, a slim, bald chap with glasses.
Mr. Rivers, I don't want you to think I'm here under false pretenses. I'm really not much of an outdoorsman, and I'll probably be scared to death when I see a real dinosaur.
Well, most of us are frightened at first, but it doesn't do to speak of it.
Well, you see, I've always run a grocery store till my uncle died, and, I've got a great deal of money now.
Uh-huh.
I'm building a new house. I'm engaged, getting married, and, I'm determined to hang a dinosaur head over my fireplace or die in the attempt. A ceratopsian, I think. That's the one with the big horned head and the frill over the neck, isn't it?
Well, you want to think twice about that, If you put a 7-foot Triceratops head into a small living room, there's apt to be no room left for anything else.
I know it's ridiculous, but I'm determined to do something big for once. Since there's no more real big game hunting, I'm going to shoot a dinosaur and hang his head over my mantel. I'll never be happy otherwise.
The Raja and I decided to make it to the Middle Cretaceous. That's about 85 million years ago. It's the best period for dinosaur in Missouri. So we drove Holtzinger into the country to let him try the 600.
It's rather heavy.
Look, you look out. There's quite a kick.
Couldn't you fire it prone?
Oh, not a gun that big. There's not enough give. You'd break your shoulder. All right. Take the safety off.
Like this?
Take my hand. I'll help you up.
Thank you. I think I better try something smaller.
Well, he took a fancy to my Manchester 70, chambered for a .375 Magnum cartridge. That's a little light for Elephant, and very definitely light for Dinosaur, but we were in a hurry. And then, of course, just before we were ready to trek, James showed up and apologized for insulting me. He'd had a run-in with the girl, and he wanted to go along. And so we were off on safari. You all ready, gentlemen?
Why, yes, I suppose so.
Mr. Holtzinger, you've met my partner, the Rajah of Jainpur.
How do you do, sir?
How do you do?
Well, shall we get cracking? After you, Mr. Holtzinger. Mr. James.
Thank you.
Let's get going. All set.
We'll slam the hatch, and off we go.
What happens?
Nothing till the force field is built up. There she goes.
What happened to the lights?
Well, there's no current while we're in transition.
I don't feel well.
There's usually a touch of vertigo. I shouldn't worry about it.
Look, where do you shoot for? I mean with Dinosaur. What is their best shot?
Well, you don't try for his brain, you know. They don't have any. Well, to be exact, they have a little bump about the size of a tennis ball on the top of their spines. And you're not likely to hit it when it's embedded in a 6-foot skull.
Try for the heart. They have big hearts, over 100 pounds. An exploding shell in the heart will slow them down, at least.
Oh, I see.
Why do we have to go so far for game? Why couldn't we just go back 50 years and shoot lions in Africa?
Well, the machine won't work more recently than 100,000 years ago.
Why?
Well, look, I'm no four-dimensional expert on the subject, but it has something to do with what they call time paradox. You know, if people could go back to recent times, they might do something to affect history or kill their own grandfather, you know. And there's also some kind of taboo about sending people back to the same time again. There's paradoxes. Mustn't have them.
What would happen?
I'm not sure, but the university isn't taking chances. They've got about a billion years to cover. They won't run out of eras. Hello? Here we go. Oh, cheers, eh? Well, that's done it. April 24th, 85 million years B.C. Now then, careful. Keep the safety on your gun. And don't shoot unless I give the word.
Why? Why should we have to wait for you?
Because I'm responsible for everything you do. Especially if something goes wrong. I say, Roger, open the door, will you? In this period, the time chamber materializes on top of a rocky rise. At the west, you see the arm of the Kansas Sea that reaches across Missouri, and the big swamp where the sauropods live. To the east, the land slopes up to a plateau. It's good for ceratopsians. But the finest thing about the Cretaceous is the climate. It's balmy like the South Sea Islands, and not so muggy as the Jurassic. Oh, we sent the time chamber back off and looked about. It was spring, with the dwarf magnolias in bloom all over. Down towards the Kansas Sea, cycads and willows grew, while the uplands were covered with screw-pins and ginkgo. Yeah, well, I'm no ruddy poet, but I can appreciate a beautiful scene. Well, I was looking through the haze and sniffing the air.
I got him!
What the devil?
You see it? There it goes!
Confound it, you idiot! I told you not to shoot without word from me. And what happened?
An ornithomine. Wandered out of the copse. Mr. James gave him both barrels. Missed.
Now, look here, James. One of the biggest dangers on a safari is trigger-happy sides who get panicky. You're not to shoot unless you're told. You understand?
Who do you think you are to tell me when to shoot my own game?
Now, look here. Firstly, if you shoot off all your ammunition before the trip is over, your gun won't be available in case of a pinch. And secondly, if you empty both barrels, what would happen if a big theropod should charge before you could reload? And finally, it's not sporting to shoot everything in sight. Is that clear?
All right.
Well, now then. First task is fresh meat. As I told you, Holtzinger wanted a ceratopsian head. James insisted on a tyrannosaur. Then everybody would think that he'd shot the most dangerous game. The fact is that Tyrannosaur's overrated. But everybody's read about the tyrant lizard, and, well, he does have the biggest head of the theropods. Oh, and he'll snap you up if he gets the chance, no fear. Oh, we started off searching for meat. The Raja and I put the sahibs in front. We tell them it's so that they'll get the first shot, which is true, but another reason is that they're always tripping and falling with their guns cocked, and if the guy were in front, he'd get shot.
Boneheads. Where? See? Crouching over there. Feeding on those cycads. He's about the size of a man.
They look intelligent.
Well, not likely. That bulge on the head is solid bone. Now then, hold on there, James. You've had your shot for the day. Hold your fire until Holsinger shoots.
Yeah, sure.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Holsinger.
Doesn't matter which one?
No, here. Try that one by the rock. There's a good clear shot. Well, take your safety off.
Oh.
Go ahead now.
Well? Shh. I'm nuts. I've had enough of this.
James, don't...
I got him clean right through the heart. First shot. How's that?
I thought you were going to give Holsinger the first crack. It's his turn.
Well, I waited. Took so long I thought he'd gotten buck fever.
Very well. But if this sort of thing happens once more, we leave you at camp the next time we go out. The next couple of days we trekked around the neighborhood and then headed over to the sauropod swamp, over to the west. We were staked out along the edge of the lake, watching a big beggar out in the swamp waving his head about. And they're the big ones. They look something like the Dinosaur.
Can't we shoot him?
I wouldn't.
Why not?
Well, there's no point to it, and it's not sporting. Like, if you kill one in the water, he sinks and can't be recovered. And if you kill one on land, well, the only trophy is that little head on the top of that long neck. You can't bring that whole beast back because he weighs 30 tons or more.
That museum in New York got one.
Oh, yes. Well, they sent a party of 48 to the early Cretaceous with a 50 caliber machine gun. They spent 2 solid months hacking and sawing the carcass apart and hauling it to the time machine. I know the chap on the project, and he still has nightmares in which he smells decomposed dinosaur. And they also had to kill a dozen big sauropods who came in for the party. And then they had them lying around, too. They lost 3 men.
Reggie, Duckbill, where? Where are they?
Up there at the shoreline. Now, keep your voices down. You see? With the crest on the back of their heads.
Mr. Rivers, I've been thinking over what you said about those heads. If I could get one of those duckbills, I'd be satisfied. It'd look big enough over my mantle, wouldn't it?
I'm sure of it, old boy. Well, let's be off. Roger, you wait here with Mr. James. Shouldn't take us long. Holt and I crept along the shoreline, narrowing the range to the duckbills.
I think I can make the shot from here. I'll be ready in a minute. My shoe is loose. He's getting away. I won't get a shot.
I'm afraid Mr. James has fired both barrels again.
James, that's the second time you spoiled my shots.
Don't be a fool. I couldn't let them wander into camp, stamping everything flat.
There was no danger of that. You can see that the water is deep offshore. It's just that our trigger-happy Mr. James can't see any animal without shooting.
And if it did get close, all you have to do is to throw a stick of firewood at it. They're perfectly harmless.
But how was I to know?
I believe I mentioned it.
Well, what are we on this miserable trip for, except to shoot things?
There are certain rules, you know.
You call yourselves hunters. I'm the only one who was hitting anything.
Now, just a moment, old man. You're behaving like a confounded skite with more money than brains. I should never have brought you along.
Well, that's how you feel. Give me some food and I'll go back to the base for myself.
Now, don't be a bigger ass than you can help. That's quite impossible.
All right, I'll go alone. I wouldn't want to pollute your air with my presence.
Yeah, that's an attractive thought, Reggie, but we can't let him go. He'll get lost or starve. All right, I'll go after him.
We stumbled along for several more days, James on his good behavior for a change. And on the 1st of May, we broke camp and headed north to the hills. That was hot and sticky. And we were soon panting and sweating like horses when I picked up the smell of carrion and heard the thrumming of the flies. We found a huge ceratopsian lying dead in a little hollow on the edge of the copse. He must have weighed 6 or 8 tons alive.
Why couldn't I have gotten him before he died? That would have made a darn fine head.
On your toes, chaps. The sauropod that's been at this carcass is probably nearby.
How do you know?
You see how the hide's been ripped off and the bones are scattered? Sauropods will hang around a carcass like this for weeks, gorging and then sleeping their meals off for days at a time.
What do we do?
Well, that's what we came after. But, Roger, you take Mr. James through that way, and we'll parallel you 40 feet distant. Now, keep your eyes open. It'll be hard to see in these woods unless you're right on top of him. We pushed through the edge of the copse, looking for the huge flesh-eater who'd been at the carcass. I could hear James and the Rajah pushing ahead on my right. We were separated by a gully when I heard a noise ahead on our left.
What is it?
I don't know. Take the safety off your gun.
Oh, there it is. It's one of those boneheads.
Oh, well, they're not dangerous at any rate. But be careful. That sauropod might still be around here.
I got him! Got him clean!
Well, he's done it again. He shot the bonehead.
I got him!
Look out! Look out! Dinosaur!
The Tyrannosaur heaved his head out of a shrubbery just in front of us. Look, the scientists can insist that Rex is bigger than Trionches, but I'll swear that this Tyrannosaur was bigger than any Rex ever hatched. It must have stood 20 feet high and been 50 feet long. I could see its big, bright eye and 6-inch teeth. He'd been sleeping off his last meal, and James fired off both barrels over his head at the bonehead and woke the Tyrannosaur up.
Get back! Get back, you fool!
Gun's empty and Roger can't get a shot. Found it. There goes the beast in behind those ferns. Holtzinger! Holtzinger! Come back! Your gun's too light for that beggar! James came bolting back in a panic and blundered into the Raja, sending both of them sprawling under the ferns. The Tyrannosaur came after them to snap them up. Holtzinger began to blaze away. He got off 3 shots through the beast's body with that little light gun. The Tyrannosaur whirled around to see what was stinging it. The jaws came open, and the head swung around and down again. Holtzinger got off 1 more shot and tried to leap to one side. The Tyrannosaur continued its lunge and caught him in its jaws as he fell.
Reggie, stand clear! Hart's the only chance.
There's no use. There he goes.
Try a long shot.
Ah, no, I missed him clean. Poor Holtzinger.
Well, that's the end. He stopped screaming. Did you notice?
Oh, yes. Well, I expect we'd best track the beast. He might be dying. We should try to recover Holtzinger's remains.
Yes, there's nothing else to do.
No, nothing. It's a bad show all round. An hour later, we gave up and went back to the glade looking very dismal.
Where have you two been?
We were occupied. The late Mr. Holtzinger. Remember?
You shouldn't have gone off and left me. Another of those things might have come along. Isn't it bad enough to lose one hunter through your stupidity?
What?
Sure, you put us in front of you, so if anybody gets eaten, it's one of us. That's...
You stinking little swine. If you hadn't been a first-class idiot and blown those 2 barrels again, this never would have happened. Holtzinger died trying to save your worthless life. And I wish he'd failed.
Well, I ought to...
Now then, my laddybuck, I'm glad you did that. It gives me a chance I've been waiting for. Now get up. And I'll be glad to finish off.
You won't finish anybody off. All right, put your hands up. Both of you.
Put that gun away. Don't be an idiot.
I won't let anybody do that to me.
You can't get away with murder.
Why not? Won't be much left of you after you're hit with a 600 explosive shell. Nobody could prove anything. They can't hold you for a murder 85 million years old. The statute of limitations, you know.
Nice work, Roger, old chap.
Yes. Cretaceous rock. Doesn't quite have the balance of a cricket ball, but it's a bit harder, what?
Well, suppose we tie this chap up and take him back to camp. When the time transition chamber finally arrived, we fell over one another getting into it. We dumped James in a corner and threw the switches.
You two should have killed me back there.
Why? You don't have a particularly good head.
You wouldn't look at all well over a mantle.
You can laugh, but I'll get you someday.
Close quarters, isn't it?
Someday I'll find a way. I'll find a way and I'll get off scot-free, too.
My dear chap, if there was some way to do it, I'd have you charged with Holzinger's murder. Look, you'd best let well enough alone.
No, I'll kill you. Both of you. Somehow.
Cigarette, Roger?
Thanks.
When we came out in the present, we handed him his empty gun, and off he went. We paid everybody off, found that we were broke. But quite luckily, a steel manufacturer turned up who wanted a mastodon head for his den. While we were standing in the laboratory at the university waiting for the time chamber, the technician, he's a bookish chap, a theoretical temporal physicist, was watching his dials and scopes.
Oh, by the way, Mr. Rivers, you just missed him.
Missed who?
That last client of yours, Mr. James.
Well, that's good luck. What was he doing here?
Oh, he told me quite a tale. Said he'd lost his wallet back there. Said it contained some very valuable papers. It must have been valuable. Paid the university fee of $5,000 for the use of the chamber. He's on his way back there now.
Back where?
Well, he told me to send him back a few minutes before you arrived the last time. Then he could see himself drop the wallet.
He's going to stand there and watch himself come out? Yeah, but doesn't that create what you chaps call a paradox? What happens when a man tries to occupy the same time twice?
Well, we don't know. It's never been tried before. Well, we tried to warn him, but he insisted.
Yes, I know. He's a headstrong chap. Still, you wouldn't think he'd chance it just for the sake of a wallet. Was he armed?
Yes. He had a 375 Express.
375? Well, that's odd. He knows it's too light for Dinosaur.
Yes, but not too light for a man. I say, Roger, you don't think Mr. James is lurking behind a bush back there until we show up again? And planning to pot us as we step out?
That's impossible. We already did step out of the chamber and nothing happened.
Yeah, but that was before Mr. James was waiting with an express rifle cocked. Hey, Doctor?
But you mean he's planning to murder the two of you?
I wouldn't be a bit surprised. I don't suppose there's anything you could do to stop the process now.
No, it's too late. The chamber's in transition now. Look, hadn't you better get out of here before he kills you?
Well, there's no point in running. If Mr. James's theory is right, we've both been dead for 85 million years. We might as well wait and see what happens.
Transition point coming up.
Well, it's been quite a world up to this point. Hey, Roger?
Yes, quite.
Here it goes.
Reggie, are you all right?
Well, I seem to be. What happened?
The time chamber. It's back. We'd better get it open.
Good Lord, look at that.
Ghastly, isn't it? Where did it come from?
I'm not sure. But I rather think it came from the Middle Cretaceous era. It wasn't here a moment ago.
Ghastly mess. Looks as if every bone was pulverized and every blood vessel burst.
I dare say. But that's his gun, all right. It's James, there's no doubt of it. So, that's the story, Mr. Seligman. Of course, I don't understand the mathematics, but the idea's rather easy to grasp. Nobody had shot us when we first emerged on the 24th of April, 85 million BC. And so, of course, that couldn't be changed. The instant James started to do anything that would make a paradox, the space-time forces snapped him forward and ripped him to bits. Well, they know a good deal about that now, and there's a safety margin of 500 years between each trip. You Can't have paradoxes, you know. It just isn't done. And you see, I'm a lot more careful now. I shouldn't have taken James when I knew what a spoiled, unstable sort he was. Or Holtzinger either. When I saw that he was too small to shoot a dinosaur gun. With a heavier gun, he'd probably have knocked the Tyrannosaur down and saved his own life. So, Mr. Seligman, that's why I won't take you to that period to hunt. I'm sorry, but you're just too light. You're not big enough to handle a gun for Dinosaur.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features the story of a man who develops a spaceship that travels so fast that its pilots vanish mysteriously into thin air. Read the Vaughn Shelton story, Point of Departure, in Galaxy Magazine, on your newsstand now. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you A Gun for Dinosaur, a story from the pages of Galaxy, written by L. Sprague de Camp, patent consultant and one of our leading authors of science fiction. It was adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in the cast were Alastair Duncan, Wendell Holmes, John Gibson, Donald Buca, Warren Parker, and Alan Hewitt. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
At last we are really on the magic island of the South Seas. However, it seems to be not a place of beauty and peace as the islands are thought of, but a sinister and foreboding fortress, the stronghold of a terrible scientific colony. Jerry Hall, Mrs. Patricia Gregory, and Captain Tex Bradford have been allowed to see the little girl whom they came to find. The girl is Joan Gregory, long-lost daughter of Patricia Gregory. Mother and daughter have been given a moment of privacy in the tiny room the girl occupies on the Isle of Euclidia, the magic island.
I'm so happy to have found you, my dear, that nothing else matters to me. I can even bear being a prisoner here if I may only be with you, my dear little Joan.
And I'm so happy to be with you, Mrs. Mother. But it all seems so strange. I'm called Cleostra here. All of our names have to do with scientific things, and yet you call me Joan. And somehow it seems that I have always been Joan.
You have to me, dear. You've always been my little daughter, though the width of the sea and 14 years have separated us.
Mother. Oh, it sounds so nice to say that. Mother.
And you'll always be able to say it now, for Mother will never leave you. We'll go back to California, to the United States, to the great free outside which you call the world.
Tell me of your home. We hear much of it through our space phones, and can even see your United States through our universal prism reflectors. But the images are not clear, and your old-fashioned and weak electrical apparatus gives us a particularly mediocre signal.
What a precious infant you are. You know so much more than your mother, and your speech would shame many of our educators. And yet, I wonder if you've been happy here.
Happy? I believe so. We have games, relaxation, you know.
What sort of games?
When the full rest period comes, in the middle of the day, we gather in the common laboratory, and we may use the entire time, 600 seconds, in working out such mathematical and electrochemical problems as may suit our fancy, even though they haven't the slightest practical value.
And that is relaxation. Your wisdom makes me very sad, my child. You're only a young girl, barely 15 years old, and you should still be playing as a happy child. Don't you ever run and jump and play athletic games? Don't you ever laugh?
No one on Euclidia laughs, except G47, and when he laughs, it is only horrible. He is the most brilliant man in the universe, and the most terrible.
Is he abusive, mean, unkind to you?
G47 would not trouble to be anything but scornful toward any mere human. What am I, or what are you, or anyone else to a man who has only to raise his hand and destroy a world?
So, that's it.
Then this weird colony is made up of mad scientists, bent on world conquest by science. I might have known it.
It is not a pleasant place for some here, I think. Some who have known your world as you know it. But to me, it is all I know.
You will soon know the world as I know it, my dear. I'll take you back to my home. Your home. Why, my estate is larger than this whole island.
And things grow naturally there? Flowers and trees?
Why, of course. Don't you have them here?
You will see in the light of day. We have everything and nothing.
You will come back with us to our world just as quickly as Captain Bradford makes arrangements for us to leave this island.
There are many here who have been trying for years to leave the island. They are still here. And some who have left, they never arrived at any known place.
But there was one person who got safely away, an old sailor, not long ago. He was picked up by a ship in the open sea and sent word of this strange island to the world by radio.
And where is that old sailor now?
He died almost as soon as he got his radio message to the world.
Yes, he died. So you see, no one ever gets away from this island for long.
Joan, you realize what you're saying? Surely you don't mean that his death was not accidental?
I think that I can tell you, all of you, much that will be to your advantage. But we will be overheard now. And it's better that I wait until another time, when Captain Bradford may hear it at the same time. One thing I can tell you now. G47 thinks that Captain Bradford is the only man in the world who might interfere with his plans.
Then we'll tell the captain. Tex is a brave and clever man, and Jerry Hall is a smart, dependable boy. We'll find a way to get off this island and back to the world. And then...
what?
I didn't see.
You do not see me now, do you?
These rooms are made of some metal, which allows you to see through it from the outside only.
What a nightmare of life you must lead here.
You will not need to speculate long on the type of existence peculiar to Euclidia. Your quarters will be assigned to you.
Where are Captain Bradford and Jerry?
You are dangerously impertinent in your inquisitiveness, but it is obviously ignorance. Your fine captain is in solitary confinement, learning a lesson about behavior on the scientific fountainhead of the universe.
What has the captain done to warrant that?
He asked too many questions, and I might add, you, madame, are following the same line.
Be quiet, please, dear mother.
How touching the reunion. Well, little lady, you will bear in mind that your mother's world means nothing to you. You are part of this vast machine. You are Cleostra, the living symbol of the perfect calendar.
My mother tells me my name is Joan.
By this time tomorrow night, your mother will have learned that what she tells you is of no moment here.
Where is Jerry? Is he locked up with the captain?
No. That adolescent walking loudspeaker is waiting without. I will allow him to perform a service for me. You, Cleostra, will go with him to the voice transmission chambers. I will direct him to send a message for me. You, madame, may go and talk to your precious captain.
But may
Silence, go. The woman waiting without will conduct you. You may speak to the captain through the wall of his cell, as I now speak to you. Go, I said, go, go.
Goodbye, Joan. I'll see you soon.
Goodbye, Mother. Goodbye.
Now, there is no time for sentiment here. Come out. Come.
What do you wish of me? Oh, Jerry, I'm glad to see you.
Silence. Cleostra, you will conduct this boy to the voice transmission chambers. Show him the operation of the Euclidia to California voice transmission beam, and see that he sends the following message. All is well. We'll send further news later. He will send it to Mrs. Gregory's home operator. Use the signature of the Gregory yacht.
Say, now look here. You can't buffalo me into sending anything of the kind.
Have you seen our solitary confinement cells?
Why, gee.
Jerry, do as he says. I'll explain it all to you later.
Be off. Send that message. Then report to me in my private quarters. Be off. Be off.
Come on, Jerry. There's no use arguing with him.
Oh, I guess you're right. But I'd sure like to punch him on the snozzle. Golly whiskers.
You're a strange boy, Jerry. What does that mean?
What does what mean?
Punch him on the schnozzle, golly whiskers.
You don't speak very good English here, do you?
That I do not know. But I like the way you speak.
Do you? On the level?
On the level?
Yeah, on the level.
Do you not speak in the same manner on the level as you would on an elevation?
Hey, look. One of us is wrong, and I got along all right in school, so it must be you. Now, look. You like me. Is that right?
That is substantially correct, Jerry.
Well, I got that much of it right anyhow. Now, I like you, too.
That is very pleasant, Jerry. We must see each other as often as we are allowed to.
Oh, boy. That's slick.
Slick?
Never mind that now. Just listen. I know all about you for a long time. I got Mrs. Gregory and Tex Bradford to bring me with them just so as I could help find you.
But I have not been lost. Why should you have to find me? I have known where I was at all times.
Well, it's about time I got you off this island. Now, listen. No, don't talk. Just listen. I've dreamed about you for years. It's been in all the papers about your mother looking all over the world for you. And I just got to thinking so much about you that golly, you're mighty nice.
You are also mighty nice.
Golly whiskers, you got that one right. Now, look, you and I have got to do some figuring about getting off this island. Captain Bradford is locked up because he asked too many questions about how things are done here on this island. And we've got to do something about it.
There's very little we can do, Jerry. G47 hears and sees all that goes on in Euclidia.
Never mind that. Your mother's been looking for you for 14 years, and Captain Bradford's been helping her for 5 or 6 years. Well, and now that you're found...
But, Jerry...
You were lost. And now that you're found, we're not going to spend the rest of our lives on this island.
Is your world such a wonderful place, then, that it is worth all this worry and trouble and danger merely to attempt to return to it?
Is it worth it? Oh, boy. Wait till I take you to a moving picture premiere on Hollywood Boulevard. You ought to see some of those big shows.
We often watch what you call your moving pictures from here, when we are allowed the time.
Oh, sure. You got machines here.
No, Jerry. We see them being made. I will show you the universal prism reflectors. They may be focused on your Hollywood, and the making of the pictures is quite plain to us here in Euclidia.
Boy, this is a magic island.
My mother's yacht was watched all the time. Every move you made on the trip from your California to our island was seen by our scientists. They did not let me watch, but I heard them talking.
Maybe getting off this island won't be so easy after all.
It will be impossible, Jerry. Oh, but here is the voice transmission chamber. We enter. So? And there's the apparatus you will use.
Where? This is the craziest place. We walk all over the island without making a sound. Then we open the door and we're inside of a room without a sound. And now that we're in here, there isn't a sign of anything to send a message with.
You see that map on the wall? You will push the little lever, the one marked California.
Okay. It's pushed. Now what does that do?
You may now talk to California. Just direct your voice naturally toward that wall.
You know, someday I'm going to write a book about this place. Well, here goes. J24Y to J12C, Los Angeles. Jerry Hall on J24Y to Johnson at J12C. Hello, J12.
J12C to J24Y. Go ahead, J24. I've been waiting for 2 hours for your signal.
Listen, J12. Enough has happened in the last 2 hours to fill a book. We're in terrible danger. On the island, our position is...
So, you silly fool, you would try to deceive me?
Oh, G47, that terrible ray gun. You've used it on Jerry.
It is a pretty toy, is it not, Cleostra? Would you like to know how it feels?
When Jerry Hall, Mrs. Gregory, and Captain Bradford started out to search for a little girl on a strange island in the South Seas, Jerry insisted it would be a magic island. Now that Joan, Mrs. Gregory's long-lost little daughter, has been found on the island, and G47, the mad scientist, and his weird colony are holding Mrs. Gregory, Bradford, and Jerry prisoners, the strange island of Euclidia is indeed almost a magic island. Jerry, Joan, and G47 are in the voice transmission chamber on the island. Jerry tried to get a message through for help, but G47 overheard it. He turned a ray gun on Jerry and Joan. Mrs. Gregory's California radio operator is still trying to hear Jerry.
What has happened, Hall? Cannot get your signal. What has happened, J24? J12C to
Enough of that. So, you young fools, You would try to warn the outside world of my plans, would you? It might have been better had I used the death ray on you. No, I need you both. You have been unconscious for 50 seconds. 10 seconds more and you will revive. Then you will send a message I want you to send. Now, you should regain consciousness in just 3 seconds.
That's funny. I was talking to J12 in Los Angeles, then the set went dead. I'll get him again.
You will do exactly as I say, young man.
Golly, I didn't see you. Say, what did you do to Joan? Joan, what's the matter?
She did not receive the ray from this little toy of mine until after you did. It is just time for her to awaken. Now.
You turned the ray gun on Jerry, but he is not dead?
No. I used only the 60-second paralyzing ray.
What are you talking about? Nothing happened to me.
Didn't you see that I was asleep, Jerry?
You were mighty quiet and funny, all right.
G47 turned his ray gun on us when he heard you trying to warn your friends in California that you were held prisoner here on Euclidia.
I didn't see any gun. I heard something that sounded like a baby screaming, a little child screaming way off. Then the radio set went dead.
The radio set, as you call it, did not go dead. I merely put you to sleep with the 60-second ray. You were trying to deceive me.
You bet I was. And I'll try it every chance I get.
Do not speak like that, Jerry. G47 can do with you exactly as he pleases.
Let him get busy on his worst then. I'm going to get off this island some way, sometime, and nobody's going to stop me.
You are a fool. Even a brave man knows when to keep quiet. You are as completely in my power and cut off from the world as if you had never known it to exist. This little ray gun is only one infinitesimal part of my equipment for handling fools.
Is that the little thing that put us to sleep?
This is it.
That doesn't look like a gun. It isn't any bigger than a lead pencil.
Just the same, Jerry. That little thing will throw a ray across this island and carries enough power in it to paralyze 1,000 people.
You have learned your lesson well, Cleostra.
Oh, nix on that Cleostra stuff. Her name is Joan. She's Mrs. Gregory's little girl, and I'll call her Joan.
You will learn to call her Cleostra. Her Euclidean name is the only name she will ever need. And it is our wish to know her as the symbol of Cleostratus, the great astronomer of ancient Greece who gave us the zodiac.
Well, I'm going to call her what I like. Yeah, and that's not all.
That is entirely too much. Silence, both of you. You will now send a message I instructed you to send before. And this time I will stand directly behind you with this little ray gun trained upon you.
Go on, Jerry. Do as he tells you. Move the transmission lever there upon the map of California.
This is the craziest radio set I ever saw. I push a button and talk to Los Angeles, but I'm talking to a blank wall.
You are talking through a wall, a porous sound wall, behind which the directional voice transmission apparatus is located. The wall is bulletproof, my young fool, so do not waste your time trying to damage the apparatus. Go on.
Be careful, Jerry. Do not try to send any message except exactly as G47 tells you.
Oh, I got enough sense not to want him to put me to sleep again with that thing. Well, here goes. J24Y to J12C at Los Angeles. Hello, J12. Jerry Hall to J12C.
J12 to J24. Hello, Jerry. What happened to your signal? You were coming in good, then stopped. I got the word danger. Go ahead, J24Y.
Say there is no danger.
Correction on that, J12C. I said no danger. All is well, but we are off our course. No sign of island. Stand by for further report. Repeat, J12C.
J12C to J24Y. Repeating. No danger. Off your course. No sign of island. I'm standing by.
Okay, J12.
Can you give me your position?
No position.
No position, J12. We'll give position later. That is all. J24Y.
That is all. Good luck, Jerry. Johnson on J12C.
Now, how do you shut this thing off?
It is off now. The method is no concern of yours.
Gee whiz.
Things work almost by themselves on Euclidia, Jerry.
Yeah, too fast to suit me. Now I've got to see Captain Bradford.
You may do so. You, Cleostra, will conduct this boy to the captain's cell. Then you will return to your quarters.
I would like to visit more with my dear mother.
You may see her later. You, Hall, will be allowed to see everything, or nearly everything, on Euclidia. When you have made up your almost negligible mind to the fact that you will stay here, your interests are here now. In the meantime, go and see your dear captain. Make all the silly plans you can think of to escape. They will exercise your minds and furnish amusement to me. Go. Enough of this. I will see you when I want you. I will see you again.
I don't like that guy.
No one does. But it is not safe to show it. Now come, Jerry, and I will take you to the captain. Then I must go to my own quarters.
I'll see you after a while and tell you some more about California and the rest of the world, huh?
Tell me this, Jerry, as we walk to the captain's cell. Your name, Jerry Hall. What does it mean?
What does it mean?
Yes. It must have a meaning.
Well, it means that my mother's and father's name was Hall, and they called me Jerry.
But that means nothing.
Means plenty to me.
But on Euclidia, all the names mean something.
One of these days, you're going to quit worrying about what things mean on this spooky island. And it is a spooky place. Look, here we are walking on something that looks like concrete or stone, but our shoes don't make a sound.
That is not strange to me. I have seen how they make the noiseless rock, the transparent steel, and the invisible cloth.
Golly whiskers. When we get off this island, we'll show the rest of the world a lot of swell tricks.
I wish, Jerry, I wish you would not speak of getting off this island. You're only wasting your breath.
You don't think we're going to get off, huh?
I know you will not. And you will only make it dangerous for all of us if you try.
Wait till Tex Bradford and I get down to figuring this out. And we'll make it dangerous for anybody that tries to keep us from going.
There's Captain Bradford's cell. I must leave you here.
Where? I don't see any cell.
You do not look closely, Jerry.
There's nothing but a blank wall in front of us.
And if you look carefully at that wall, you will observe that you can see through it. And Captain Bradford is sitting in a little cubicle of a room.
Doggone it. I'm getting tired of all these tricks. Why don't they have windows and doors like anybody else?
Doors and windows are not necessary when you can see and talk through steel walls.
I guess you're right. Hey, Tex. Captain Bradford.
Yes, Jerry. Come over to the wall so I can talk to you.
You may step nearer, Jerry, but do not touch the wall.
The walls are charged with electricity, huh?
Yes, and the power is enormous.
That's why these walls make such good cells.
Stop. You are near enough now.
Hello, Joan. How are you and Jerry getting along?
This Jerry of yours, I like him. He is a very nice but very foolish boy.
Oh, she's worried, Tex. Just because I don't let old G47 bluff me.
I'm afraid it's no bluff, son. Better lay low and do what he says.
I must go now.
When can I see you again?
I will come to you when I have permission.
Oh, darn the permission.
Steady, Jerry. Joan's right. No use trying to go against the rules here till we have a plan.
I'm sorry. I'll see you later, Joan.
Goodbye, Jerry. Be careful what you do.
Goodbye, Cleostra.
You don't like that name much, do you?
Oh, it's all right. I don't like it because old Geometry gave it to her, I guess.
Well, now that we have a minute to ourselves, let's see what we've learned about our situation here.
The more we learn about it, the worse it gets.
Where's Mrs. Gregory?
She's in the room where they make dresses in 300 seconds, wherever that is.
Well, as long as they don't injure any of us, we have a chance.
Not much. I tried to cheat on a radio message to Johnson, and old G47 turned a ray gun on me.
Did he hurt you?
No, just put me to sleep for exactly 1 minute. Then when I woke up, he had me believing I'd better not try it again.
Did you get through to Johnson at all?
Yeah. With the old guy shoving his gun in me, in my back, I had to tell Johnson all was well, that we were off our course but in no danger. and that we didn't know our position.
Good boy. That helps a lot.
How could it?
I didn't have time to show you all the things we have on that yacht. And you didn't see any of our equipment at the Gregory home. But Johnson knows it's impossible for us not to know our position as long as we have current enough on board to send him a message. And in an hour, he'll have our position all figured out.
How can he do that?
Just as we did on the yacht one. No, I'd better wait for another time to review that. The chances are, in fact, I'm sure, that every word we've said has been overheard by someone.
Then we've already said too much.
Yes, I know it, but we've got to talk sometime. And what we've said so far is no more than G47 has figured out for himself by now.
Is there anything that guy doesn't know?
There is one thing he can't touch, Jerry.
What's that?
He can't read your mind. The man is no magician, and he's no trickster, though he is probably the greatest scientist the world has ever known, or failed to know. Everything he produces is an exact science. And if we can only figure out how to get our thoughts to each other, without speaking or writing them, we can...
What's the matter? Tex!
I feel dizzy in my head. Oh!
Tex! What's happening to you?
Exploring tomorrow. And now here is your guide to these adventures of the mind, John Campbell, Jr.
There's the old saying, you'll do it and like it. And, of course, a man can, by physical force, make you do it. How would you like to have it so that you would like it, too? There are two basic ways that you can be happy in this world. One, of course, is to have everything you want in just the way you want it and never have any difficulties or troubles. This method is ideal, perhaps, but not very probable. Only one person in the world could have that, I guess. The other method, for absolute, complete happiness, would be to like anything that you got, no matter what it was. The first approach is the one that makes sense, of course. That's the one we work for. We earn it. The other seems so much easier.
Stop barking. Stop barking. Stop barking. Barking. No, that's all right, doggy. You bark as much as you want. Oh, how I wish I could get mad. In the old days, I'd have gone up that dog and told him to shut up, and that'd been that, but no more. Just as soon as I start to get good and sore about something, my mind kind of all creams up in the happiness effect, and I'm not sore anymore. And everybody here in Benton, I guess most everybody in the country is just like me. We've all had our brains written on, and we're all happy. Here I am, chief of police of Benton, and never a crime to speak of unless it's overtime air parking, and what kind of crime you call that? Henry! Oh, here he comes. Our own Doc Royd, the man responsible for all our happiness. He's supposed to be just about the best brainwriter this side of the Mississippi. Henry! Slobbo, that's what I call him. Old wet lips, always do good and always grinning. But behind that grin, believe me, ice. If you need an enemy, just have Doc Royden for a friend.
Henry, didn't you hear me calling to you? Oh, sorry, Doc. I guess I just kind of stand here thinking. Happy thoughts, I hope. Oh, sure, happy thoughts, sure. What can I do for you, Doc? A fellow just came into town, suspicious. Painting pictures out at Willow Hollow. There's law against painting pictures at Willow Hollow? Now, Henry, you know I got to keep my eyes on things. Wasn't for us brainlighters, there'd be all kinds of irresponsibles roaming around. And these artists, they're the worst kind. You know that. You remember there was a day when you were headed for that kind of trouble? Yeah, I remember. I was pretty good baritone, too. You sure brain wrote me out of that notion. And aren't you better for it? You're a responsible citizen, happily married, well-adjusted, doing a job that's socially useful. Yeah. What about this fella I'm supposed to investigate? The name of Arnold Vivian. And he's been painting up at Willow Hollow? That's right. Doesn't do anything all day long but paint. Single. No wife, no children, no nothing. He just paints.
Well, remember, as long as he just paints, that's legal.
Now, Henry.
Now, don't Henry me, Doc. I'll look into it. That's all I can promise.
All right, that's all I ask. Goodbye, Henry.
Yeah, that's a mighty pretty landscape you're painting.
Why, thank you. Willow Hollow makes a mighty pretty landscape to paint.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, that's all right. I never mind a little talk when I'm painting. What can I do for you?
Your name Arnold Vivian?
That's right.
I'm Henry Horner, Chief of Police.
Nice to meet you. Chief of... What seems to be the trouble?
No trouble. I just out here to give you a kind of friendly warning.
About what?
This town of Benton you're in needs new young men, Arnold. If you should happen to get in any trouble here, we got a real fast brain rider who likes to straighten people out.
I don't get into trouble.
Well, just keep in mind we need workers these days. Like our brain rider would say, who needs pictures on canvas?
Who needs pictures on canvas? Why, Mr. Policeman, me. Maybe someday a few others will agree with me.
Well, maybe. I used to be a sort of artistic fella myself. Baritone concert style.
Yeah, I'll bet you're good on a police whistle, too. Don't worry about me, Mr. Horner. Just go back and tell your brain rider. Here's one traveling man he won't ever get to use his scalpel on.
Every Saturday night, Benton has a dance. I usually don't go near it myself because since the brain writing, everybody's pretty well adjusted and ain't any police-type trouble. This Saturday night, though, I dropped in toward the middle of the evening.
Hi, Mr. Horner.
Why, hello, Arnold. Having a good time?
Heck yes. I've been dancing with all the girls. They love me, and I love them.
Staying out of trouble?
The only trouble I ever have is with pictures on canvas.
Well, don't go getting drunk and signing a job contract with Big Fellum at the Brickyard or with Tom Hart, or you'll forget pictures.
I'm immune to job contracts. Also, it may interest you to know that both Mr. Hart and Mr. Fellum each bought a painting for me tonight, paid cash on the barrelhead.
Well, that's a surprise. Well, I wonder what they're up to.
Well, why should they be up to anything? They just like my pictures. I guess they like me, too. They invited me to play poker with them after the dance tonight.
You turned them down, of course.
Heck no. I like taking money from people at poker.
Well, they're more likely to do the taking, and once you're broke, you'll just have to go to work.
Mr. Horner, when are you going to stop worrying about me? I told you I can take care of myself.
And he could, too. When the poker game broke up about 3 a.m., he was the winner. Everybody was griping, all except Doc Royden, who sat there, his close-set eyes glittering behind thick spectacles.
Imagine him taking me for $30. Imagine.
Well, he knows people, he knows cards, he knows women. You're not going to brainwrite that boy.
You want to bet, Henry? You just want to make a little bet.
Whether it's a crowded highway or a narrow street, a smooth, even flow of traffic is one of the essentials of safe driving. Speeding is an obvious hazard, but it can also be suicide. Slowpoke driving is dangerous, too, because it causes rear-end collisions and tempts other motorists into taking deadly chances in passing. The eccentric behavior of the lane switcher, the driver who weaves in and out, often is the cause behind frightful smash-ups. So don't be a cause, and don't be a victim. Arrive alive.
There are two difficulties with the happiness idea. One of them is that actually we need to earn happiness to enjoy it, that we don't really want to work for it. The drug addict has happiness that he doesn't have to work for, really. The other difficulty is happiness in whose terms? Many times, the other fellow figures that you ought to be happy with what he's giving you.
That's right.
Henry, wake up and scoot over to Tony Holland's shack on the edge of the holler.
What's the matter, Doc?
There's been a crime. Get over here as fast as you can.
Somebody's got to keep an eye on our citizens at the police force.
Now, wait a minute.
Well, it's a good thing I was out this way.
Where's Tony?
I gave him a sleep injection. The poor fella, he was bashed on the head and all his savings were stolen. $302.
Well, can't you wake him up so he can tell me himself?
No need. I got all the information you'll want.
Who does he think did it?
He doesn't know, but I've got a good idea.
Yeah, like who?
Well, let's eliminate. It couldn't have been a passing tramp. Since brainwriting, there aren't any. And if you can't say it was anyone in town, they're all adjusted and wouldn't commit no crimes.
So?
There might be somebody around who wanders in the holler in the daytime, poking around and pretending to be what he ain't.
Well, it wasn't Arnold Vivian.
How do you know?
Because he's not that stupid. He knows he'd be the most likely suspect.
Maybe you just better check up on him, Henry.
Doc, you're the brainwriter. They called you in after the maladjusted guy's been caught, but I'm the cop. I run my investigations the way I want, and I'm not going to build a case against Arnold Vivian.
What are you going to do?
You write on brains. Try reading one.
So you figure Doc Royden's trying to frame me, huh?
Looks that way.
Well, it's ridiculous. I just took you people at poker for enough money to live for 3 weeks. Why should I take a chance on getting my head written on?
Have you missed any of your stuff?
Oh, just my pen and pencil set that I lost jumping around at the dance last night. Hey, wait a minute. That'd make a fine clue, wouldn't it, at the scene of the crime?
It sure would.
Well, was it found over there?
Not yet, but it will be. That's not important, though. What is important is this. Tony Holland has one peculiarity. He marks $20 bills. Figures he can follow how the money goes around town that way. Now, you don't draw any money from the local bank or in salary, so you just better not have any local $20 bills marked by Tony.
Hey, whose side are you on?
I used to sing baritone, remember?
Police, I like you.
Artist, I kind of like you, too.
Henry, look what we found at Tony's. Look here.
Yeah, I know. You found a clue, a pen or a pencil, or both. We know all about it, Doc. Arnold, I better run you in, at least until we can investigate further. It'll look better.
Why, certainly. No trouble at all, Mr. Horner. Glad to come along.
I pressed for a hearing right away, figuring that Arnold could be cleared and then leave town. He figured the same, that it wasn't healthy to hang around a place that needed new talent so bad. The hearing went real fine. From the start, I testified that Arnold had been fast asleep at the time the crime was committed, and I swore that the pen and pencil had been planted in Tony's house. Then suddenly they were talking about marked $20 bills.
Well, I couldn't possibly have any 20s, Judge. I just told you, there's absolutely no way that I could have... Unless... No. Let me out of here! It's a frame-up, I tell you!
There is no tool that is either good or evil. There's nothing that in itself is good or bad. It's the way it's used. Logic is a wonderful thing, of great value to man and his progress. But in this trial here, you've seen what can be done with logic when someone is out to prove what he wants to prove and is not in the slightest interested in getting the truth.
There's just one thing I want to say. I've seen a lot of raw deals, but the way you have it here with the singing cop to set it up is the slickest I ever saw. You win.
As chief of police, I had to be present at the brainwriting. Doc's nurse gave Arnold the needle jab in the back of the neck, and after that he sat there like a stone man, able to hear but paralyzed.
Now, Henry, there we are. Yes, the clay model is ready to take the impressions from Arnold's brain, so we'll have an exact duplicate. Now we put this cap on Arnold's head so the electronic fingers in it can do the measuring. That's a good boy. It won't take long now. Attach these wires to the automatic computer that we put above the clay model, and
There we are. An exact model of Arnold's brain. All right, let's take a look. Oh, me, oh, my. There's a brain that needs writing. All right. Look here, you see that? Decayed memory spots. Artistic imagination, decayed sensory impressions, quite useless in an adjusted society. Now, we just take the scalpel and start doing away with these 6 synapses in the brain model, substituting good ones. Isn't that what we do, Henry?
Yeah, that's what we do, all right. You erase the bad ones and carve some good ones, and then when his own brain gets the impression, the guy's adjusted from then on. Everybody does what they should, and they don't need no religion, no morals, no psychology, nothing. Just brain writing and the world's work gets done.
Now, Henry, you always miss the most important part. After I get rid of the illogical synapses, I do one special cut with my stylus. There, I'm doing it now. And that's the happiness effect. Then your adjusted man not only does what he ought to, he's happy about it. There we are. Oh, that looks beautiful. Oh, that looks almost like the master brain. Let me get it and show it to you, Henry. It's real interesting. I'll be back in a second.
Arnold, I sure wish I could help you. Wait a minute. Maybe I can. I'm going to try to put back some of those synapses cut out. Here's the scalpel. There's one he did. Here's another. Maybe I can help you keep some of your artistic talent, Arnold. Here's a final one.
That one day, Henry will be able to duplicate this master brain in everyone. It's brilliant. Take a look at it while I prepare for the transference from the clay model to Arnold's brain.
It sure is fine looking, this master brain.
Yes. Now, we're ready to go? Now, Henry, when I close this switch, the new brain shape will flash the signal to the cap on Arnold's head. The electronic fingers will dig in, and he'll have a new brain. Oh, I tell you, Henry, this is the real moment of birth. Most people are born wrong for this world. This is where they get right. All right, here we go. It's going to hurt a little. Well, Henry, we did it. We created a useful citizen.
Well, 6 months went by, and it looked as if Doc was right. Arnold took a job, settled down, and got himself married, and then...
Henry, have you seen that picture exhibition up at the town hall?
Picture exhibition? No, Doc. What's it about?
Arnold, Vivian, the sneak pictures of me, holding me up to ridicule. I'll be the laughing stock of this town. You've got to stop it.
Well, there's nothing illegal about pictures, Doc, but come on, let's take a look. We went to the town hall, and there was the neatest collection of pictures you ever saw. Arnold had painted Doc Royden more than 50 times, and in each picture he cut the basic evil of the man. Doc was shown at the council meeting, at church, at the dance, his face revealing every grimace of deceit, power, lust, conniving. Every picture was titled The Happiness Effect, and everyone was marked sold already. I knew then and there that Doc Royden was finished in Benton.
Henry, please, I'm too old to start over in another town. I've got to stay in Benton. Please, Henry, get rid of those pictures.
Why, Doc, it sounds to me like you're maladjusted to your environment. You ought to be brain-ridden with a happiness effect.
Henry, man, I've been looking all over for you. I wanted to tell you thanks for using Doc's scalpel to save a piece of my talent.
Why, it was a pleasure, Arnold. Thanks to you for giving us back a little human dignity.
A lot of people tend to think that happiness is something you have. But I think it isn't. I think it's more in the nature of something you do. You know, the founders of our country were no fools. And in the Declaration of Independence, they said that men had certain inalienable rights, among which were the pursuit of happiness. No man has ever declared that happiness itself is a right of man. The pursuit of happiness is. It's worth working for.
Join us for a fascinating adventure in Exploring Tomorrow. Heard in our cast tonight were Mason Adams, Charlie Holmes, and Lawson Zerbe. Script was taken from a story by Raymond Banks. Produced and directed by Sanford Marshall here in New York. Bill Maher speaking.
We pause now for station identification.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice.
And now to our story. When the Metropolis University football team collapsed in the last quarter of its game with State College and almost lost, Clark Kent decided to investigate. To his surprise, he learned three things. One, that an old graduate named Richard had left the university medical laboratory a legacy of $3 million, provided the university raised $500,000 through its own efforts. Two, that the only way the university could raise the money was to have its football team earn it by going through the season undefeated. And three, that if the university did not get the legacy, it automatically went to three unidentified people. Since there was something queer in the collapse of the team, Kent suspected that one of the three possible heirs was doing something to the football team to keep the money from going to the university. His suspicions were confirmed when he received a note telling him to mind his own business. Together with young Jimmy Olsen, he hurried to the medical laboratory to discuss the matter with Professor Nelson, but found it empty. Listen.
Listen to those monkeys chatter, Jimmy. They're the ones I was telling you about. Professor Nelson and Dr. Stone use them for experimental purposes.
Oh, where's Hercules, the gorilla?
He's in the cage around that bend in the room there. Professor Nelson! Dr. Stone! Looks like they're both out.
Can I see the gorilla, Mr. Kent?
Sure, of course you can. Just around that bend.
Oh, I know, but...
Well, there's nothing to be afraid of, Jimmy. He's locked up in a cage.
Oh, okay.
Professor Nelson! Dr. Stone! That's funny. There's not a soul here. I wonder whether they could...
Mr. Kent, help!
Jimmy! What's the matter?
Help! Help, Mr. Kent!
What happened, Jimmy?
The gorilla. He's out of his cage.
What?
Look.
Run for the door, Jimmy. Come on. All right, you get outside.
What are you going to do, Mr. Kent?
Lure him back into his cage.
No, you can't. He'll attack you.
Do as I say. Now get outside. Hurry.
Mr. Kent, please.
Go ahead. Good thing this door locks so Jimmy won't decide to open it right in the middle of things. There, does it? Now, Hercules, we'll take care of you.
As Superman. I don't know how you got out of your cage, but you'll be back there before you know it. Oh, don't like the idea, do you? Sorry, but you can't be trusted wandering around here. Hey, put that bottle down. Oh, you're in a playful mood, eh? All right, catch this. You're tough, Hercules, but not tough enough. Come on, I'm ready for you. That's the boy. Now, let's see what you can do with both arms pinned to your body. Oh, try to bite a piece out of me, you'll break your teeth. Now we'll just carry you back where you belong. Dump you into your cage. Slam the door. And throw the bolt home. Shaking those bars won't do a bit of good, Hercules, old boy. You might just as well calm down. Wonder how you managed to get out. That bolt couldn't have slipped.
Mr. Kent.
What?
Mr. Kent.
Oh, sounds like Professor Nelson. Clark Kent is going to have a tough time explaining how he got that 400-pound gorilla back into his cage without any casualties except that broken bottle.
Mr. Kent, open up.
Just a moment.
Kent, are you all right?
Mr. Kent.
Oh, everything's okay. There's nothing to worry about. The gorilla.
He's back in his cage.
What?
I'll tell you all about it.
But how-
I'll tell you all about it. Jimmy, did you round up this rescue party?
Sure, the minute you locked the door, I ran out to the campus and yelled at the top of my lungs.
You certainly got a crew together fast. Now, thanks very much, boys, but our friend Hercules is safe and sound in his cage. Thanks for coming out. Come on in, Professor. You too, Jimmy.
You gave me a couple of very uneasy moments, Kent.
Not to mention the uneasy moments Hercules gave me.
I must have a look at him.
Oh, he's all right now. Look out for that shattered bottle, Professor. Hercules threw it at me. Fortunately, he's no big league pitcher.
Gosh, I don't understand how you got him back in his cage, Mr. Kent.
Well, there he is, curled up in a corner, looking as though butter would melt in his mouth.
Something's wrong with him. The left side of his jaw is terribly swollen.
His jaw? Oh, is it? That's funny.
Did you hit him with something, Mr. Kent?
Who, me? Oh, no, I didn't get that close.
How did you force him back into his cage?
Why, just by shouting at him and waving my arms.
I don't quite understand this. Wasn't there anyone in the laboratory when you and this young man entered?
No, not a soul. Jimmy wanted to see Hercules, so he walked around to the cage. And what did you find, Jim?
Oh, the door was wide open, and Hercules was coming out. All I could do was scream and run.
Oh, Professor Nelson.
Yes.
But good heavens, sir, what happened?
Nothing, Doctor.
Well, they said the gorilla was loose.
Yes, but Mr. Kent frightened him back into his cage. He seems all right now, save for a swollen jaw.
Well, I walked over to the faculty club to tell you that Mr. Kent had called to say he'd be here in 10 minutes.
Oh, I see. That's why the laboratory was empty.
But how did Hercules get out of the cage?
I don't know. You say the door was ajar, Mr. Kent?
Was it, Jimmy?
You mean wide open, yes.
I suppose. Couldn't have slipped. Well, we can be thankful nothing serious happened. You owe Mr. Kent a debt of gratitude for having sufficient presence of mind to lock the door and tackle the animal single-handed. This has taken a lot of courage.
Amazing courage.
Frankly, there wasn't time to think about it.
This should teach us a lesson, Dr. Stone. Never to leave the laboratory on guard.
Well, I'm sorry, sir, but it's wholly my fault.
Dr. Stone, when did you see Hercules last? I mean, before you went in search of Professor Nelson.
Well, now, let me think. I gave him water a few minutes before you called. I remember it distinctly because I was interrupted by the training table cook.
The training table cook?
Yes. Mr. Taylor, the football coach, sent him up with a sample of some canned salmon that was to be served to the team last Friday night. I presume Mr. Taylor thought it might have been responsible for mild cases of ptomaine.
Well, did anyone else visit the laboratory?
Just one of my students, McCoy. He delivered a paper that was overdue.
Kent, you're not insinuating that someone released Hercules deliberately, are you?
It wouldn't surprise me, Professor Nelson.
After all, there is a limit.
Well, maybe you won't think so once you've read this note. I received it at the Daily Planet office about a half hour ago. Read it.
Clark Kent, Daily Planet. This is a little friendly advice. Keep your nose out of other people's business, or you won't be using it to breathe with very long. Who wrote this, Mr. Kent?
I don't know. It was delivered by boy, and it's obviously written in childish print to prevent identification. Now, possibly you'll realize there may be more to the sudden collapse of the Metropolis football team than appeared on the surface. As a matter of fact, I'm beginning to think the boys on the squad were poisoned.
Poison? Oh, well, that's preposterous.
I don't know, Dr. Stone.
No, you're making a very serious charge, Mr. Kent.
Yes, and I can back it up. Or at least, I'll back it up before long.
You contend that someone maliciously poisoned the football players to keep them from winning?
And not primarily to keep them from winning the game, but to keep the university from getting the Richards legacy.
But who would want to do that?
Any one of the three possible beneficiaries.
Do you know the beneficiaries, Mr. Kent?
No, I don't. But I'll find out if it's the last thing I do. That's why I wanted to talk with you, Professor Nelson. I I thought perhaps you might call Mr. Quincy, the lawyer, and ask him who stands to benefit under the terms of Mr. Richards' will in the event the university fails to get the money.
He won't give me the information, Mr. Kent.
Oh?
I tried once before when it looked as though we were going to be unable to raise our quota of $500,000. I thought I might appeal to the beneficiaries to waive their rights. Mr. Quincy refused to cooperate.
Oh. Well, all right. We'll have to make use of another method. Come on, Jimmy.
Where are you going, Kent?
To see Mr. Quincy.
It's after office hours. He won't be there now.
Well, he may be. Hey, incidentally, Professor Nelson, you'd better tell Coach Taylor what's happened and warn him to keep an eagle eye on the team. At least until next Saturday's game. Let's go, Jim. I'll call you, Professor, if I accomplish anything.
Do you really think the lawyer will be at his office now, Mr. Kent? It's almost 6 o'clock.
Nothing like trying, Jimmy. Now, I'll park here. Now, you sit tight and wait for me. The office building's just around the corner. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Okay. Can I turn on the radio?
Sure. Quincy refused to give Clark Kent any information, but he might have more respect
For Superman. Now, let's see. This is the building. His office is on the 14th floor, facing rear. Good thing I took notice of that when I visited him Saturday. I'll just duck through this alley. I don't like to have to do things this way, but if I can help the university get that legacy, it's justified. All right, here we are. 14th floor, corner window, rear. Up! Up! Here we are. This is the office. Pitch dark inside. Up with the window. And inside. Now, I imagine he must keep his copies of wills in his safe. Hate to have to ruin a good safe by ripping the door out. But the lives of thousands of boys and girls are worth more than the finest safe ever built. Now, where is it? Over here? No, that's a filing cabinet. Oh, wait a minute. It probably has a wall safe. Must be behind this big picture here. Yes, of course, there it is. Now, I'll just yank the door out, see whether I can find Richard's will. Here goes.
Don't move.
What?
Or I'll shoot.
Who has been lurking in the darkness of the lawyer's office? Whose voice is it that issued the order, "Don't move or I'll shoot"? Will Kent, even as Superman, be able to get the Richards will now that he's been caught in the act? Don't forget to be with us for the next episode when things begin to happen fast and furiously. Tune in and listen with Superman.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine. Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, trace a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice.
And now to our story. Following a wild automobile chase, Clark Kent and Perry White, accompanied by the woman in charge of the Cedar Crest Sanatorium, drew up alongside the car being driven by the mysterious Dr. Wilson, owner of the sanatorium. On a sharp curve, the Wilson car, out of control, left the road and crashed into a tree. Pulling the delirious driver from the wreckage, Kent discovered him to be Dr. Elihu Stone, assistant to Professor Nelson, dean of the Metropolis University Medical School. Injured beyond help, Dr. Stone babbled incoherently before the end came. As our story continues today, a meeting is taking place in Professor Nelson's office at the university. Present are Nelson, Kent, Lois Lane, and the woman in Dr. Stone's employ who has identified herself as Martha Hawkins. Police Commissioner Reynolds has just entered the room and been introduced. Listen.
All right, Kent. What's this all about? If you dragged me out of bed at this hour of the morning to listen to another Daily Planet publicity stunt, I feel sorry for you.
This isn't a publicity stunt, Commissioner, not by a long shot.
Then let's have it.
I think you'd better tell the commissioner about the legacy, Professor Nelson.
As you wish, Mr. Kent. About a year ago, Commissioner Reynolds, one of our old graduates passed away, leaving the medical school of the university $3 million. However, the legacy depended on our ability to raise $500,000 through our own efforts.
I see.
We managed to collect $300,000, and we were depending on the success of our football team to earn the balance by winning every game and thereby securing an invitation to play at
the Rose Bowl.
Yes, the Rose Bowl. However, during last Saturday's football game, I understand the members of the Metropolis team suffered a strange lassitude. They were in a state of semi-paralysis. In fact, one of them, the captain, collapsed.
How come?
Well, that's what puzzled me, Commissioner. I attended the game and watched the men on the team go to pieces. It almost looked as though they'd been drugged.
Drugged?
Yes, Commissioner. I was at the game with Clark Kent. Time, I thought nothing of it, but, well, in the light of development...
What developments, Miss Lane?
I'll tell you. After the team went to pieces and almost lost the game, Bob Harris, the boy who collapsed, was examined and nothing was found. He recovered quickly, and Professor Nelson and Spike Taylor, the coach, decided there was nothing to it.
But that didn't satisfy you, did it, Kent?
I should say not.
I didn't think so. Go ahead.
Well, to make a long story short, I did some private investigating and discovered that if the university didn't get the $3 million, others would. One of the others was the Cedar Crest Sanatorium, owned by Dr. Elihu Stone, who died in an automobile accident on the county road less than an hour ago. Miss Hawkins here was employed by Dr. Stone.
I never knew him by that name. He called himself Dr. Wilson.
Well, that's unimportant now.
How does Stone fit into the football team picture, Kent?
In this way, Commissioner. It was Stone who saw to it that the men on the team received a daily dose of some strange stupefying potion that was supposed to be vitamin B1 compound. It was Stone who examined Bob Harris and pronounced him perfectly well. And finally, it was Stone who hoped, by ruining the football team, to have the university forfeit the $3 million so his sanatorium could claim its share.
But you say Stone died in an accident. We can't arrest him now.
All we're interested in, Commissioner, is safeguarding the team for next Saturday's game. They've already had 3 doses of this potion. We don't know what it is. Professor Nelson says it defies analysis. But before Dr. Stone died, he said something about an antidote, that it could be found in Central America, but that we were too late.
You see, Commissioner Reynolds, we have no way of determining the reaction of this potion, as Mr. Kent calls it.
I still don't see what the police department can do for you, Professor.
Well, Miss Hawkins was working for Dr. Stone, Commissioner. If anyone knows anything about the potion or its antidote, she does.
Why do you keep repeating that? I told you...
Just a minute. How long were you working for Stone?
I wasn't working for Stone. I was working for Dr. Wilson.
Aren't they one and the same person?
Yes, they are.
Well, Miss Hawkins, how long did you work for him?
I can't remember. Possibly 10 years.
And for 10 years you didn't know his real name? You expect me to believe that?
I still don't think his name was Stone.
What about that, Kent? Maybe the name Stone was fictitious.
Well, what difference does it make? Stone and Wilson were the same man. This woman, if she worked for Stone or Wilson for 10 years, should have known what he was doing.
He never told me anything.
Oh, that's all she keeps saying, Commissioner. Something must be done to make her talk.
What do you expect me to say?
Now, look, Miss Hawkins. If everything Kent says is true, we can hold you as an accessory to the fact.
What?
If the boys on the football team were drugged, you're just as responsible as Dr. Stone or Wilson or whatever his name was. Is that clear?
All right. All right. But I was only following orders. I haven't done anything.
No, I knew this was going to happen sooner or later.
Please, let me handle it. There now. Get a grip on
Don't let
yourself.
them do this to me. Don't let them.
She's hysterical, Commissioner. May I take her into the next room?
Okay.
Now, come with me. There.
Don't you let them torture me. Don't you let them torture me. I haven't done anything. I haven't done anything.
I'm sorry we have to go to such ends, Commissioner.
Oh, this is nothing, Professor Nelson. The only question is, how do we know she can help us? Maybe she hasn't any information.
It doesn't seem likely. After all, if she's worked with him for 10 years, she certainly must have known his plan.
Tell me, Kent, just what is it you want to know?
Well, when we pulled Dr. Stone out of the automobile wreck, he was in a semi-coma. He said something about there being an antidote, that it could only be found in Central America, and that we were too late.
And you want to know where in Central America the antidote can be found?
Exactly.
What good will it do you? This is Wednesday. The game is on Saturday.
It takes 2 days or more to get to Panama by a fast plane.
I'm not worried about that. If I know where to find the antidote, I'll get it and bring it back.
That makes nice conversation, Kent, but...
Miss Hawkins has something to tell you. There now, Miss Hawkins. That's it. Just take it easy. Sit in this chair. It's more comfortable. There we are.
Well, what have you to say, Miss Hawkins?
I'm sorry for creating a scene. I didn't mean to.
That's quite all right.
Miss Lane has explained things to me. I see them now in a different light. I'm going to try and help you.
I'm glad to hear that.
You want to know about the white powder, don't you?
White powder?
Yes, the white powder that Dr. Wilson brought back from Central America. You see, his name was Wilson. Andrew Wilson.
Tell us about the white powder.
Yes, I'm coming to that. It was given to him by the chief of a jungle tribe, he said. There were 2 small packages. One with white powder, the other with brown crystals. That was the antidote. Somehow it was misplaced and never found. All he had was the powder. Someday he hoped to return to get more of the antidote. He never did.
Did he ever name the powder, Miss Hawkins? Did he ever call it anything?
Never in my presence. All I knew was what he told me, that if the powder was dissolved in liquid, 3 doses would be enough to numb a man's brain within 72 hours.
3 doses? That's just what each man on the squad's been given. And 72 hours will make it Saturday.
Where did Stone or Wilson get this powder, Miss Hawkins? Where in Central America?
He told me, but I've forgotten.
Try to remember. It's important.
She doesn't have to remember. Wilson kept a diary. It's all down in black and white.
Where's the diary?
In a drawer of his private desk, the sanatorium.
Miss Hawkins and I are driving back to get it, don't we?
Yes, I am certain it has all the information you want.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'll go with you.
I'd hang around if I were you, Kent.
Miss Hawkins and I don't need company. We'll be back shortly. Now, come along, Miss Hawkins. My car will reach your apartment in a couple of minutes. Here we are. That didn't take so long, did it?
No. You drive very well, Miss Lane.
Oh, thank you.
Be careful of these steps. Some of them are cracked.
Why, the door's wide open.
Yes. Your friend, Mr. Kent, was in a hurry to leave. Even the lights are on. I'll just close the door now. It's a little chilly. There, that's better. Now, I think we'll find the diary in this desk drawer. Seems to remember seeing it here. All right, Miss Lane. Don't move.
Why are you pointing a gun at me?
What do you take me for, a fool? Do you think I'm going to run the risk of letting $1 million slip through my fingers? Andrew is dead. That money belongs to me.
What are you talking about?
I'll tell you what I'm talking about. Andrew Wilson was my brother. My name isn't Hawkins. It's Wilson. Martha Wilson. We planned this together, Andrew and I. We planned it carefully, and there isn't going to be any slip now.
Then there isn't any diary.
Oh, yes. The diary, but I'm going to burn it. I'm going to burn it before your very eyes. I'm going to let the pages that tell where Andrew got the white powder and the antidote shrivel into ashes. That $1 million belongs to me, and I'm going to get it.
Facing a woman whose eyes gleam like live coals, Lois Lane finds herself helpless. What will happen? Will the precious diary be consumed to ashes, and the whereabouts of the antidote lost forever? There's excitement ahead, so don't fail to tune in on the next episode. Follow the thrill-packed story with Superman.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane.
It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal, invites you to Rockin' into the Future with
Corbett, Space Cadet.
Stand by to raise ship. Blast off -5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0!
As roaring rockets blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars, we take you to the age of the conquest of space with Corbett, Space Cadet. Midway in the asteroid belt, a vast scattering of cosmic fragments between the planets Mars and Jupiter, lies Prison Rock, a barren asteroid of solid rock and dead soil. Here, beneath the great plastic bubble which holds an artificially created atmosphere, live the lifers, the most dangerous criminals in the universe. Entering the stone administration building, a prisoner trustee approaches the barred door of the warden's office. A stooped, gray-haired man with faded blue eyes and a kindly face. He peers through the bars and speaks.
It's me, Warden. Hogue.
Oh, just a minute, Hogue. Okay, come in.
Thank you, sir. Happy birthday, Warden.
Why, thank you, Hogue. How did you know it was my birthday?
Oh, I've been here a long time, sir. 20 years. You get to know things in that time. I've brought you these.
Roses. Hogue, you're a genius to make roses grow on this asteroid.
Patience and hard work, sir. Sorry there's only 3 of them.
Why, they're beautiful. You know, I can't help wondering sometimes, a man with your intelligence and love of beauty.
How I could be a habitual criminal, sir?
Yes. I can understand it with a man like Bull Carson, for instance. He's a brute, a killer. But you...
I made mistakes, sir. But believe me, I'll never make another.
Unfortunately, you won't get another chance. Men who come to the Rock aren't eligible for parole. And in your case, I'm sorry. No, I mean it. You've been a model prisoner, an excellent trustee, but there's nothing I can do. Well, thank you again, Hogue. I won't forget your thoughtfulness.
You certainly won't, Warden. Don't move.
Hogue, where did you get that heat ray? Put it down.
Don't move or I'll kill you. Sit down. No, not by your desk. In that chair there.
You must be crazy.
No, Warden. I've waited 20 years for this, planned every move while I rotted here. I'm leaving this rock.
You are crazy. There's no possible escape from this asteroid. You know that.
Oh, there's a way, Warden.
Hogue, do you realize there's a patrol rocket on guard outside our atmosphere shell every minute? They'll blast any ship that tries to get through to help you.
No ship's going to get through. It's the patrol rocket we aim to use.
What are you talking about? Hogue, put down that ray gun. The guard will be here any second.
No, they won't.
No, don't.
Okay, Bull.
Got him, hey, Hogue.
Naturally. He's trusted me for years. Wait, I'll open the door for you.
Good boy. Is he dead?
I don't think so. How about the guards?
We took care of everyone, the crumbs. It was easy the way you set it up. Except for the 6 guys with us, the other cons don't know what's going on yet.
Good. If they knew we'd have trouble, they'd all want to go along, and there's only room for the 8 of us who've had experience as rocketeers.
You're sure you can work it? We get the patrol to land here without them suspecting nothing.
Leave it to me. I know the code signal, everything. Tie up the warden. I'm going to the communications room.
Control deck. Come in, Tom.
Controller Guy, what do you have?
Roger Manning craves some excitement, Junior. Aboard Sully.
We're on patrol over Prison Rock, Space Boy, which means we just go round and round
and round and round. I wish Astro was with us. At least I could insult him.
Don't blow your jets. Just 2 days more and we can go back to the academy.
It'll seem like heaven. Hey, wait, Tom. There's a message coming in. Call Captain Jeffers.
Now, here's the captain now. Message coming in, sir. Very well, Corbett. Got you down, Manning.
Here it comes, sir. Calling Patrol Rocket, code 16. Come in, please.
That's the Prison Rock code signal. Patrol Rocket Polaris to Prison Rock. Go ahead.
Emergency here, sir. The warden is very ill, and the medical officer says he must be taken to Marsport at once. Our operating facilities aren't adequate.
Can the warden speak to me?
No, sir. It's very urgent. The medical officer says every minute counts.
Very well, we'll come down at once. Have the warden ready for immediate travel. End transmission. All right, cadets. Prepare to put down on Prison Rock.
Well, Hogue, what happened?
The rocket's coming into land, Bull.
Great. How many men on the patrol?
Usually just an officer and 2 men.
3 of them. Let's get the reception committee together. This'll be a cinch. We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by.
Attention, all spacemen. Take advantage of this special offer. The greatest offer ever made by Kellogg's Pep. It's your opportunity to get official Space Cadet goggles. That's right, official Space Cadet goggles. The same kind of goggles worn by Tom Corbett out in the farthest reaches of space. Listen to this official description of space goggles issued by Space Academy Supply Headquarters. They're made out of one sweeping curved plastic plate, like one giant bubble that fits right over both eyes. Space goggles provide for a full range of vision and can even be worn over eyeglasses. Space goggles are issued in regulation colors. Now, spacemen, you want to wear your goggles anytime you're racing into the wind, on skates, on a bike, in a car. Get your space goggles now. Here's what to do. Get a box of delicious Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal. Then, you'll not only start the day with a spaceman's breakfast, swell-tasting Kellogg's Pep, but you'll also have a box top to help you get your goggles. Now, here's how. Send 25 cents. 1 Kellogg's Pep box top, your name and address. Repeat, 25 cents. 1 Kellogg's Pep box top, your name and address. Send to this address. Kellogg's, Box 346, Battle Creek, Michigan. Kellogg's, Box 346, Battle Creek, Michigan. Don't delay. Get your space goggles today.
A handful of dangerous convicts have seized control of Prison Rock and have decoyed the patrol rocket Polaris manned by Captain Jeffers, Tom Corbett, and Roger Manning to the asteroid. Now on Prison Rock, Captain Jeffers has gone to the warden's quarters, leaving Tom and Roger with the Polaris. An unnatural silence seems to brood over the grim space island of solid stone cell blocks.
It's taking Captain Jeffers a long time to get back, Roger.
Well, the warden's sick, Tom. They got to get him ready for the trip to Marsport.
He was supposed to be ready when we landed. Say, doesn't it seem awfully quiet to you?
The guys in those cell blocks are here for life. What do you expect them to do, sing for joy?
They made a fair amount of racket last time I was here. Seems to me there were more guards in the compound that time, too.
Well, what do they need guards for? There's no place for the convicts to go, even if they broke out of their cells.
I suppose you're right, but...
Wait, Tom. Here comes somebody.
Oh, it's that trustee again. The one who met us when we landed.
Hard to believe he's a dangerous criminal.
He is, though, if he's here.
I know, but he looks like such a sweet old grandpa.
Quiet, Roger.
If you two gentlemen, please. Captain Jeffers wants you to join him at the warden's quarters.
Both of us?
Yes, sir. At once, he said.
Come on, Tom.
Oh, wait, Roger. It's against regulations to leave the rocket unguarded.
It'll be quite safe, sir.
Maybe, but just the same...
Oh, wait, Junior. Orders are orders, especially from Captain Jeffers.
Well, okay.
Be right back. Hey, what now?
Forgot something on board the Polaris. Be with you in a second.
It'll be your fault if Jeffers fuses our jets. Say, the air's pretty good here. Better than most places with an atmosphere shell, Mr.
Myron Hogue is the name, sir. Yes, our air plant is quite efficient. That's it over there, beyond the main cell block.
Uh-huh. Gosh, it's quiet here.
Well, sir, when men are resigned to their fate.
Oh, sure.
Hey, Tom, what's keeping you?
Coming, Roger.
Oh, hurry up. Want to get us into real trouble?
Trouble? Oh, that's something we never have here. This way, gentlemen. In here, please.
What the... Tom, look, in the chair.
It's the warden, tied and gagged. What's going on here?
Don't move, sonny boys. Nice work, Holt.
A big guy with a ray.
Say, who are you, and where's Captain Jeff?
Shut up. We got 'em all now, Holt.
That's it, Bull.
Well, this works out just dandy.
Tom, the trustee's got a ray gun, too.
Guess we walked into a prison break, Roger.
Yeah, prize space suckers. We and the captain both.
I said shut up. We'll take these two below with the others, Holt. Finish 'em and blast off in their rocket.
Finish us?
Keep your blaster on 'em. I'll take the warden.
Wait, Bull, listen.
It's just a guy sounding off. Come on.
No, wait. It sounds like... Well, here's Willie. What is it, Willie?
The con's in the blocks. They found out what we're up to. And they're sore. Say we ain't blasting off the rock without them.
I was afraid of that.
Get ready,
Don't
Roger.
try nothing, cadets.
Bull, if they all fight to get in the rocket, we're sunk.
Yeah, where are our guys, Willie, with the guns?
In the compound trying to hold the others back, but we need help.
Come on, Hope. We'll take care of them. Willie, you watch these space boys. If they try anything, burn them.
Okay, Paul.
We'd better hurry. Come on.
Just this one guy here now, Tom.
One move out of you and I'll singe them fancy britches.
I guess that's that.
We've got to do something, Roger.
Hey, what's that?
Shoot him, Roger, now!
With you, Tom. Now, Willie boy, take this.
Get his gun hand, Roger. I got it. Good. This should hold, Willie.
That does it, Tom. Now to find Captain Jeffers and stop those convicts.
Wait, first untie the warden.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have you free in a moment, sir. Get his gag off, Roger.
Right.
There we are, warden.
Good work, boys. Come on now, hurry. Let's get on the audio channel and communicate with the Solar Guard.
Wait, sir. Captain Jeffers
We can't spare a second. The most dangerous criminals in the universe are loose. Follow me. Here's the communications room. We'll contact the Solar Guard. Have them here in short order.
Wait, Warden. Roger, look.
Great guns.
The transmitters, everything wrecked.
We're sending no message. The convicts have been sure of that.
Well, what do we do? Hogan Bull will blast off, and the others will finish us.
They won't blast off just yet, Roger.
Of course they will, Corbett. That was their scheme, to use the Polaris as a getaway rocket.
I know, sir, but I removed the control head and hid it in a jet tube. It'll take them a while to find it.
Hey, Junior, that was smart.
It'll only delay the inevitable, I'm afraid. Sooner or later, they'll... Wait, I think they're coming back. We can see from this window. It's Bull Carson and his crowd.
I guess they've driven the other convicts back into the cell
And,
block.
brother, they look mad.
Do you think they discovered the control head is missing, Junior?
If they have, we need guns. Warden, where can we find...
No good Corbett at all. First thing Hogan Bull did was to raid the arsenal.
Uh-oh. That's dandy. Then we just wait here for those killers like sitting ducks.
This door will keep them out for a while. And we're too high up for them to scale the wall.
Well, it makes me feel a little better, Warden.
Snap out of it, Roger. This only gives us a breathing spell. Come on, get to work.
Sure, sprout wings and fly out the window?
No, smart boy, but I've been looking over this super frequency setup. I think maybe we can patch it up enough to get a message out.
Corbett, that'd be great.
If it works. Come on, let's get to work and find out.
Here they come.
Let's get at the equipment.
Open up, Warden. We know you're in there with those space boys.
Take my advice, Carson, and go back to your cell.
Are you kidding? Open up, I say.
Hand me the power coil, Roger.
Here you are.
You can't get off the asteroid, and the Solar Guard will be here soon. Give up and save your life.
Listen, wise guy. We want the rocket control head. Tell us where it is and we'll leave you be. Don't tell us. We'll blast the door open and heaven help you then.
Uh-oh, here it comes, Tom. A ray blast.
Well, keep working, Roger. Don't stop.
We get the control head, Warden?
No! And if you'll listen to me...
Warden, get away from the door.
Those killers. If you boys can just fix that transmitter before they break in.
We're trying, sir. We're trying.
It's no use, Bull. These low-power rays can't knock over that door.
All right, what's keeping Willie? I sent him to the arsenal for the big stuff, the force projector.
He'll be along.
Here he comes. Willie, get a move on.
Coming, Bull. This thing's heavy.
Now we got power, Hope. Real power. When we get that door down, watch me go to work on those cadets. Before I'm through with them, they'll wish they'd never been born.
They're too quiet out there. I don't like it, boys.
It'll just be good about 10 minutes longer. We'll have this transmitter ready to go. Hand me that frequency tuner, Rog.
Here you are. Won't be long now, Warden. We'll have the solar guard right on. Crater's a lunatic.
Get back, Roger.
They've blown up the heavy-duty force projector. I was afraid of that.
By Jupiter, Tom, now we are sunk.
I'm afraid so, Roger, unless...
How do you like that, you space bugs? Give it a moment, Ken, Willie.
They'll be through the door in no time.
Wait, Roger, I just thought of something. Warden, can we get to the atmosphere station, shut it down?
Hey, that'd cut off the air supply.
Great idea, but impossible. The only entrance is underground, and the passage to it starts below this building.
Again, Willie.
By the rings of Saturn, we gotta do something.
It's hopeless. In another minute, they'll have that door down.
Warden, wait. Where does the water come from to cool the air station generator?
Why, the canal which runs through the compound. You can see it from here.
That'd provide another entrance, then.
Yes.
Look, Warden, we can get out this window on our rope cable, swim the canal to the station, and shut it down.
By space, it'd work. But we've only got seconds to go. Another blast like that...
Boys, there are chemicals in that canal. Sulfuric and other acids. You'd be burned to death.
Oh, great.
Warden, you must have a couple of spacesuits here. That's regulations in an artificial air
Why,
zone.
yes.
Well, let's get them. They can stand anything but open, sustained flame. We're going swimming, Roger. Get into a spacesuit fast.
Come on, Roger. Move those arms. Swim. Yeah, but swimming in a spacesuit is like wading through Martian quicksand.
Tough, I know, but the air station's just beyond that bend, so swim.
There they are, in the canal.
Well, spotted us.
Save your breath. Swim.
Let them have the heat rays.
They're firing.
Yeah, and coming close. See the water boil where the heat ray hit?
Get them. Get them.
Tom, the canal's on fire. The chemicals.
The heat ray must have ignited them. We're going to be burned to a crisp.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment, so stand by.
When Tom Corbett and his crew blast off into space, every man on board makes sure he carries a set of official Space Cadet goggles. Every cadet wears space goggles as protection out in space. Well, now you can get these very same space goggles. Whether you're working with tools, racing on a bike or skates, or blasting off into outer space, you want to have official space goggles with you every minute. Now, here's Tom Corbett to tell you more about official Space Cadet goggles.
Spaceman, you should send for your space goggles right away, because the sooner you send in, the sooner you'll get them. You know, these aren't ordinary goggles. Space goggles are made of one sweeping curved piece of clear-colored plastic, like a giant bubble that fits right over your eyes. I've been down to Space Academy Supply headquarters, and they've got space goggles all ready to send out as soon as you let them know where to send them. So get going, spaceman. Send for your space goggles today.
And here's what you do. Send 25 cents, 1 Kellogg's Pep Box Top, and your name and address. Repeat, 25 cents, 1 Kellogg's Pep Box Top, your name and address. Mail to this address. Kellogg's, Box 346, Battle Creek, Michigan. Kellogg's, Box 346, Battle Creek, Michigan. Spaceman, send for your official Space Cadet goggles now. And start off tomorrow with a bowl full of Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal.
In a desperate attempt to crush a convict's rebellion on Prison Rock asteroid, Tom and Roger decide to shut down the atmosphere station, which would end the revolt by depriving the mutineers of air. In spacesuits, they try to swim the canal which leads to the station, but the convicts fire heat rays into the canal, setting the chemicals in the water on fire. Now Tom and Roger are engulfed in a mighty mass of flame.
Tom, we're done for.
Unless our suits hold out.
Mine's starting to singe.
So's mine. Just get as low in the water as you can.
In a spacesuit, that's like keeping a cork underwater.
Only way, and swim. The water intake for the station isn't far anymore. Swim like blazes and pray.
Another second.
We made it, though. We're in the station.
By the craters of Luna. Let's get out of this sulfuric acid suit.
Better strip these spacesuits.
Won't take long. There goes my helmet. And the suit's practically burned off me already. Where's the control panel?
Over by the wall. You ready?
Just about. Okay, Junior.
Uh-oh. Company.
Willie and another rat.
There they are. Get it!
Dive at their feet, Roger. Don't let them use those rays.
Never a dull moment.
Okay, mister. Try this for size.
Sweet Willie, come to Papa, you space crumb.
How you doing, Roger?
Okay, Tom. Look out, Willie. I'm lowering the boom. There goes Willie.
And here goes his playmate.
Well, that's over, Tom.
Not yet. Get the gang outside. Where do you turn the atmosphere off?
Here. No, here.
Yeah, that does it. Quick, put on a portable respirator.
It's like I said before, Tom. Never a dull moment on this rock.
Look, Roger, through the vent here. The convicts are starting to fold up. The revolt is over.
Yeah, beautiful sight. But, Tom, they'll die without air. The warden and Captain Shepard.
They're just blacking out now because the air's getting thin. They won't die. Not until we can disarm the convicts and turn the atmosphere back on. Come on, Roger. We've still got work to do.
Cadets Corbett and Manning, you did a splendid job, and congratulations. And thanks.
That goes for me, too, boys.
Well, thank you, sir.
Now, at ease. And make yourselves comfortable. We're going to be here a while yet.
Stay here?
On the rock? Why, Captain?
We can't get off. While you boys were at the atmosphere station, Bull, Carson, and Hogue got away in the Polaris.
They got away?
No.
The solar guard has been alerted, and Carson and Hogue should be intercepted soon. I hope.
I hope is right. See, Junior, it's like I told you.
Yes, Roger. Never a dull moment.
Don't miss the next action-packed adventure of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, on Thursday, when Tom and Roger, in peril of their lives, tangle again with the two most dangerous criminals in the universe in Part 2 of Revolt at Prison Rock. Tune in, same time, same station for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet.
Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal.
Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in the cast were Jan Merlin, William Keane, James Monks, and Joseph Boland. Today's program was written by Ben Peter Freeman and directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Beck speaking.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran, raisins and bran flakes too. They're out of this world, they're out of one package. Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Kellogg's raisins are honeycomb coated to keep them tender, the bran flakes crisper. Kellogg's Raisin Bran, raisins and bran flakes too. They're out of this world, they're out of one package. Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Eat Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Eat Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Eat Kellogg's.
Tired of the everyday grind? Ever dreamed of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all? We offer you Escape. Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure. You are on a barren island off the west coast of Mexico. Your only companions, a lovely Indian girl and a half-clothed treasure hunter. For Listen now as Escape brings you E. Jack Newman's gripping tale of a strange adventure, Gringo. It was afternoon. The dust and the heat and the smell of Salina Cruz were at their best. I walked into the cantina. I ordered bizcocho and coffee and settled down to watching the flies and listening to the noises. I hadn't been like that 2 minutes before the guy in the dirty white suit, the one who'd been standing at the end of the bar, walked over, pulled up a chair. Yeah, that's right.
Me too, I guess we're the only one in town. This is not a great place even for Mexico, isn't it?
It seems to be.
Marshall Rhodes is the name. I'm from Minneapolis. Say, we were squirreling this morning. I didn't get your name.
Tim Canavan.
You don't know about it, will you?
All right, what's the pitch? How could you see me bring in my schooner? There's no window in back of that bar over there.
Yeah, I guess I had been hitting up a little bit lately. Happens sometimes when you get stuck in these places, you know.
Yeah, sure, I know all about it. You came here to get away from your wife, study the customs, write a book, and to love the ladies, huh? The party's over now and your doug's run out. The local government won't let you work and you're broke. Am I right?
Mr. Campbell, I know you don't live, but you're an American too, and you know this is no place to be broke.
All right, mister, we've had our conversation.
Huh?
Goodbye.
You a fellow American who...
Sorry about it. You didn't bother me.
Hey, you...
Here. Buy yourself a drink. And be somebody.
I meet your kind too, Mr. Campbell. Someday, someplace, you'll get chopped down to the size you really are.
Are you gonna do it, Rummy?
Be careful in here, Mr. Campbell. You'll just move. I've got plenty of years right.
Huh?
Buenas tardes, señor Rhodes.
Who are you?
Ramon Chavez. Here, Mr. Rhodes. This is a moment. Thank you, Mr. Chavez. See you later.
What are you, Chavez? Police?
No, nothing like that. Mr. Rhodes is very deteriorated, true, but his analysis of you seems most accurate. You have very little humanity about you.
Look, maybe I was too tough with Rhodes. Maybe I'm sorry, but I don't want to hear about it from you.
I am looking for a bargain with you.
Look, friend, your English is pretty good, and I just bet you can talk your way in or out of practically anything. But let me tell you this.
Now, wait. I am here to make a bargain. I am offering you something.
You're offering me what?
Treasure, Mr. Campbell?
No. Well, what is it, a lost ship? An undiscovered gold mine?
All of those things, if you like, and more.
Oh, sure.
Mr. Campbell, in some respects we are similar. Still, I would hope for a more cooperative partner.
What are you talking about? I don't even know you.
But I know you have a boat. I saw it. And I have heard of you. During your stop in my country, you have accumulated a reputation for bluntness.
You know, I mean what I say, and I'm saying that
I mean what I say. Be smart and listen. $40,000 American dollars. 40,000 American dollars.
So long, Chavez. Two nights later, the local town council gave a band concert in the square. I could see part of it and hear most of it from the deck of the Argus.
Hello, Gringo.
Huh? Oh, hello, Chavez.
You left this note for me at the cantina this afternoon?
Yeah. Come aboard. I got to thinking about your proposition.
Bargain.
About your bargain.
I thought you would think about it, Gringo.
Not about that Gringo stuff, huh? I've been around a while.
They will always call you Gringo.
Okay, mister, let's have it. What's the story?
You know Coringa?
I've seen it on a map, yeah.
South of here. This is my home.
I thought this was.
No, I've only been here a little while.
Mm-hmm. fisherman. One day, when we were far out to sea beyond all of the other boats, I heard the plane droning overhead. Then suddenly it was edging over the water out of control. It crashed on one of the small islands considerably offshore, barren places for the most part rocks and sand. When we returned to Canimba, we learned that a Salazar Mining Company plane had been lost at sea. It carried a $40,000 cash payroll. You mean it's still there on that island? Untouched. How do you know it didn't explode and burn? You say a crash. It just broke up a little. Paper money does not break very easily. Where is this island, Charles? That is my part of the bargain. Yours is this boat. You said we. Who else is on this? No one. The man who helped me in that boat was anxious to report what we had seen to the authorities when he learned it was a Salazar mining plane. He thought there would be a reward in it. I killed him. Well, Gringo?
Where's all that humanity you were talking about?
Where do you go with a surly nature? I give him a service.
All right, what are you trying to hand me? You're trying to get me to take my boat out and pick up some Chinese you got waiting on one of those islands ready to push in the back door of the United States?
Let go of me.
I wasn't born yesterday. You can make any one of those islands on a fishing jig. A baby could do it.
A baby with a powerboat? Let go. I take this from you, Gringo. Just for now.
What about a powerboat?
I attempted it. At first I thought I was a bad seaman because I could not get within a mile of the island. There is a peculiar current there, most unnatural, too strong for a small jig, and the depth is too shallow for a large boat. There is no way to get to that island without a powerboat like this one. Anything else?
The English. You didn't learn it in Canimba.
I spent some time in the United States once.
And you want to go back, is that it?
Where else would I spend that good American money?
Can you shove off tonight?
8 o'clock?
Yeah. I spent the rest of the day laying in stores and fueling up. I fired the two Mexican boys who'd been working as my crew. And by 8 o'clock, I was ready to shove off. Chavez was right on time.
We are all ready, Gringo?
Yeah. Your wife?
Almost. This is Maria.
She's saying goodbye?
I am saying hello, senor. I'm going with you.
I thought no one else knew about this. What is it, a three-way split?
I will pay Maria for my share. She's a good sailor. We can use 3 hands.
I didn't figure on a woman being aboard.
Well, then, figure on it, Gringo.
Come on. Want to get those lines?
Sure. to Escape, and tonight's story, Gringo, in just a moment. How would you feel if you found yourself a lone survivor after an atom bombing, with the possibility of death lurking in everything you touched? Hear Richard Woodmark in just such a situation on Suspense. That's tomorrow night in most of these same CBS radio stations. Richard Woodmark in How Long is the Night on Suspense. And now, back to Escape. Once we cleared the harbor, we cut the engines and hauled up the canvas. And we used sail most of the trip to save fuel. That's why it took us 3 days to get to those islands. But we were lucky. The weather was good, and the sea was calm. Both Maria and Chavez knew the way around the schooner, so we took turns standing watch. I liked it best when Chavez was at the wheel.
That was very funny.
Sure. Look, Maria, when this is all over with, what happens, huh?
But I'm only 99. I've got to live in the United States.
Yeah? Well, you may have to wait a long time. I know some people who've waited around those border towns 7, 8 years. That's a long time, baby.
I'll tell you once. I want to live in the United States. I will.
Yeah, he's going to have $20,000 pretty soon. Is that it?
I live like a peasant in the United States. I'm close, a place to live, like in the book.
Suppose I took you. Yeah, sure, me. Once this is over, I can get you on right away, Maria. No waiting.
Yes?
Sure, baby. Come here. Come here. Now, how about it?
You like me that way, Jim. Because you hate him. I can see this.
Suppose he went around. What do you think I mean?
Only money, huh?
Why, you little... You've been thinking about it all this time, haven't you?
Gringo! Maria! We are here!
What? Come on, Maria.
There! Over there! Beyond that point!
Yeah, let me have those glasses.
The middle one. See it?
Yeah, I'd make it out okay. Hey, what? The plane, it's right there. 200 yards off the beach. Nothing around it.
What? I tell you, Gringo is there waiting for us. Hey!
It sure is. Get those engines going. I don't know, we're using a lot of fuel. We're making headway, but I don't like this current. Never saw anything like it.
It becomes a spark that as you come toward the island, but it goes up to the left there. We could try it from the other side?
Now, it'll take 4 days to walk across those rocks. No, thanks. We'll get in.
Over there, look. What is it? The world gone crazy.
No. Something under the water is trying to get up.
You can feel it?
Yeah. I saw one down in Tahiti once, just breaking through. No wonder there's a current here.
How long does it take?
20,000 years. Or 20 minutes.
Can we get the island?
We can if we don't get blown up. Maria, let us straight in now. By 4 in the afternoon, whatever was going on under the water seemed to slack off a little bit. At least there weren't any more explosions. We were 100 yards offshore when we got anchor in about 15 feet of water. We lowered the dinghy and a few minutes later beached it through the surf. Yeah. There she is.
$50,000. Can you go?
Must be in the compartment.
Sure.
here. Okay? Yeah. That's stuck. Then you get your fingers under the bottom from there? That's right. See? All right, I'll try from here. All right. Yeah, sure, all right. Here, catch. Look. Wait a minute. Here's my knife. Good. It is all clean. I told you it was a treasure. Yes. Better get out of this place. Looks like it might blow up. And you are going to be with it. Goodbye, Gringo. You can keep the knife. You left you too, huh? It's gone. It's done. That isn't going to help. Not if I can help it. There must be a first aid kit in that plane somewhere. The cabin of the flight compartment. It'll have a red cross on it. We'll get it. Well, let's get this thing out of me. Yeah. That knife must have bounced off a rib. I'd be dead now. What happened right now, Jim? Yeah, we gotta get help. Make flares, signals, maybe radio. That plane must have a radio on it. You help me out, will you? I walk or I lie here and die. Come on. Come on. Right. Get me over to that point. What? Over there! He must have been trying the same thing we want to do. All the tubes are busted. He's no good either, baby. Probably the pilot. He sat here and starved to death trying to work that busted radio. After that, we didn't talk much. We both knew we were going to wind up just like that pilot. That first day, I just stretched out on the sand and dozed off. Maria sat with her back to a rock looking out to sea. Every now and then some water would boil up offshore. That night she got tired. We sat there and looked at each other over the flames. Maria, I'm sorry I got you into this. I wanted you because you belong to him for whatever reason. See, it's been this way all my life. I take. I won't let any other man be better than me. And they're all better now. You know, a few days ago, a bum on the beach, a guy without anything, told me that I'd get chopped on the side someday. And he was right. size now.
Jim, I do have been very honest. I never afraid of you. I was so good.
Yeah. Well, I'd really take you to the States. I'd buy you the best clothes they have on Fifth Avenue. I'd be proud to walk in any place with you and say you were my wife. That's what they call it, I guess.
Jim, I love you.
No, Martha. Some good feelings.
Well, it's late.
Decided to stay under the water after it. Maria, look! It's the Argus. She's stuck in the sand right off the beach. Shallows came back for us, Maria. Oh, who knows? The volcano's quiet, the sea's calm. Come on. You know, I may walk you up Fifth Avenue yet. Don't ask me how we got across that beach and waded out to the Argus. I don't know myself. Except that Maria had to half carry me and push me, but we did get aboard. All the sails were furled against the main. The main flapped loosely. The heavy boom free to swing.
Come on! Come on! Gee, what's here? You didn't have to come back to us.
Yeah. Schooner drifted in a room. Reached her.
Gee, look!
What?
The man statue!
It's all here.
But where is the man?
Well, maybe when he tried to handle the mainsail alone, he got knocked overboard. We'll never know, poor devil. All right, Maria, go forward and start the engines. We're heading for the mainland. By the time we anchored the Argus in the bay at Salina Cruz, Maria was more like her old self, fiery and independent, the way she was when she first came aboard with Chavez, and as beautiful as ever. She bundled me off to the hospital and left me there where she went to return the money to the Salazar mining people. 2 weeks later, I was on my feet again, and the first afternoon out found me back at the cantina, where it had all begun.
Pardon me, I see you in America. Not many Americans come down here.
Hello, Rhodes.
Oh, I didn't recognize it. Like Mr. Cadet.
Why don't you sit down?
What?
Sit down.
Mr. Cadet.
Pour yourself a drink.
Cheers, Mr. Cadet.
Yeah, I know. I've been in a hospital for 2 weeks, Rhodes.
Yes, I heard.
Man can do a lot of thinking in 2 weeks.
Mr. Cadet, I didn't want to be the one that she insisted on.
What are you talking about?
She brought a message for me. She said that...
What is it, Rhodes? I think I know what it is. I haven't seen Maria since she dumped me in the hospital 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
She never got to the Salazar mining people, did she?
No. No, she didn't, Mr. Cadet.
She took the 40,000 and left, didn't she?
Yes.
Well, then, here's to Maria. And you know something, Rhodes? I bet she looks great walking down Fifth Avenue alone. Huh? Never mind, Rhodes. It's just that Maria hasn't haven't changed a bit. She'll never change. But I have. You see, I've been cut down to size, Rhodes. Remember? Sure, Bob, I'll finish it. Good luck to you. Where are you going, Mr. Canavan? I'm soft moving. But I'm traveling light, Rhodes, real light. And you know what? I think I'm going to like it. Under the direction of Norman MacDonald, Escape has brought you Gringo by E. Jack Newman, starring William Conrad. Featured in the cast were Edgar Berry as Chavez, Lillian Bayef as Maria, and Parley Bear as Rhodes. Editorial supervision is by John Meston, and the special music for Escape is composed and conducted by Leith Stevens. Next week... Solomon Islands. Ahead of you lie the unknown terrors of native savagery, and closing in on you is a white man whose gunboat will smash you to the bottom of the sea. So listen next week when Escape brings you John Russell's classic story, The Price of the Head. During the year, the United Red Feather Campaigns of America appeal to the public for support. Red Feather dollars fight illness, fight delinquency, fight unhappiness, fight human need. So this year, be as generous as you can. Roy Rhodes speaking. This is the CBS Radio Network.
Instant Ralston and Regular Ralston, the hot whole wheat cereals in the red and white checkerboard packages present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed Space Patrol adventure, Cadet Happy is approaching a small fortress in a jungle clearing on Planet X, where Commander Corey is being held captive by Prince Baccarati and Dr. Malengro. Baccarati glances through the gun port.
The fool? The little fool?
What are you talking about, Baccarati?
Coming across the clearing from the jungle. It's a Space Patrol man. You're Cadet.
Happy.
Watch for him, Malengro. I'll take care of the Cadet with this blast gun.
Baccarati, don't.
Look, Corey. See what happens to those who defy the will of Prince Baccarati?
We'll return in just a moment with today's exciting Space Patrol adventure, The Revolt of the Space Rat.
Commander Corey speaking with a special message for all Space Patrollers. You have only 3 more days to enter the Name the Planet contest. The contest closes December 1st. That means you have only 3 more days to win the gigantic rocket clubhouse and $1,500 cash. Only 3 more days to win one of the 750 Schwinn bikes. Yes, this is the contest that gives you 750 chances to win a wonderful Schwinn varsity bicycle. And there's still time to enter and win if you hurry. Just go to your grocer's today for some instant Ralston. Right on the back of the instant Ralston package, it tells you how to enter the contest. So don't wait. Don't miss out on winning the Rocket Clubhouse and $1,500. Don't miss out on winning a streamlined Schwinn bicycle or one of the 1,000 other swell prizes. If you get going on the contest right away, today you have every chance to win. But you must act fast. There are only 3 days left. Right now, this morning, take off for your grocers and get some instant Ralston. Remember, right on the back of the instant Ralston package, you'll find the easy contest rules that will help you get your entry in the Name the Planet contest right away. So get instant Ralston today, and I'll bet you win a prize.
And now, today's Space Patrol adventure, the Revolt of the Space Rats.
With Prince Baccarati and Dr. Malengro locked securely in the aft compartment, Commander Corey and Cadet Happy settle back comfortably at the controls of the Terra 5. The giant Planet X grows smaller in the rear view scope as their spaceship approaches the orbit of Pluto on their long journey toward the man-made planet Terra.
Hey, Commander, now that Baccarati's out of the picture, what's going to happen to Planet X? Will it become one of the United Planets?
Well, that's a difficult question, Happy. It's something the Secretary General and the other planetary leaders will have to work out.
Baccarati sure was stupid. I'll bet he's back there in the aft compartment kicking himself for being such a fool.
I doubt it. If I know Baccarati, he and Malengo are busy thinking up ways to escape.
A lot of good that'll do them. In a few hours, we'll have them on Terra under heavy guard. Then it'll be a criminal rehabilitation center for both of them.
Until then, we've got to be on the alert, just in case some of his agents make a desperate attempt to rescue him.
Yeah, but they don't know he's been captured. His men think his ship is sunk in the great sea of the Planet X.
Just the same, I'm taking no chances. Watch those viewscopes, Pat. Meantime, a few thousand DUs away on the barren, airless third moon of Pluto, a man sits in a sealed shelter and wearily turns the dials of a spaceophone receiver. Nearby, on a bunk, his companion stares at the ceiling with dark, deep-set eyes. With effort, the man on the bunk raises his head.
Turn it off, Pete.
All right, boy, all right. Now, you lie down and relax. Never mind me. Keep covered up.
I'm hotter than inside of Mercury right now, Pete. The fever's burning me up.
Boy, listen. I better go back to that space phone in case Sarkis try to contact us.
He ain't going to contact us, Pete. You know it. Sarkis through with us. Why don't you be smart and blast off in that lunar job?
Leave you alone?
Not your fault. I come down with space fever and can't stand high acceleration. This little lunar ship of ours will take you off this moon. Now get going.
All right. I'll go.
Now you're talking sense.
I'm going to contact a ship that can get you off this moon without shaking you to pieces. A ship with enough power to reach escape velocity real back.
Are you crazy? The only ship that'd bother would be a Space Patrol cruiser.
Maybe.
You know what'll happen if the Space Patrol gets a look at this setup? You'll end up in a criminal rehabilitation center.
Maybe I can convince them with just a couple of prospectors.
Why don't you space it then to help us if we're going this far?
Those Sark intercepted the message. How long you think we'd last? You just leave this.
Commander, I picked up something in the starboard viewscope. It seems to be coming from the direction of Pluto's third moon, sir. A very small ship. Well, probably lunar class.
Lunar class cruiser PG-791 calling Space Patrol cruiser emergency.
In sight of us, sir.
Commander Corey aboard Space Patrol battle cruiser Terra 5. Go ahead, lunar cruiser.
Commander Corey?
That's right. What's your trouble?
It's not me, Commander. It's my partner. We've got to get him off moon number 3.
Is anything wrong with your ship?
No.
Then why can't you get him off?
No, not with this crate, I can't. Acceleration would black him out for keeps.
Who is this speaking?
I'm Pete Skiller. Partner Troy Matthews. He's down with a bad case of space fever.
What are you doing on moon number 3?
Prospector. We got a shelter rigged up in a crate. Commander, old Troy needs your help real bad.
All right, Skiller. Head back to the moon. We'll follow you.
Thanks, Commander. Me and Troy will never forget this.
All right, Skiller. Corey out.
What do you make of it? Think it's on the up and up?
I don't know. At least it's unlikely that Baccarati's gang is behind us. Even if they know we've got Baccarati, there's no way they could have known we'd be on a vector close to Pluto's third moon.
Yeah, they wouldn't have had time to lay a trap.
I hate to take time out with our prisoners aboard, but after all, a human life may be at stake. Buzz and Happy follow the small ship to the third moon and carefully scan the terrain as Pete Skiller lands inside a small crater. Skiller, clad in a spacesuit, waits for them beside the airlock leading to the shelter. Donning their own spacesuits, Buzz and Happy land near the lunar cruiser. A few moments later, they're inside the airlock talking to Skiller.
partner's in pretty bad shape, Commander.
How long has he been here?
About 10 days.
10 days? You mean this is the first attempt he's made to get help? Why didn't you space phone Pluto's Space Patrol?
But Troy's awful stubborn, Commander, awful stubborn. Here, he's right in here.
You lead the way, Skiller. Keep an eye on him.
Yes, sir. Well, old Troy's asleep. Hey, partner, wake up. We got company.
Hold it, Skiller. He does look bad.
I'll see. Stuff him into a spacesuit, we can carry him out to your ship.
Just a minute. We won't go stuffing a sick man into a spacesuit. Got to be very careful about moving him.
Sure. Anything you say, Commander.
Frankly, I'd hate to be responsible for what might happen to a man in his condition. Moving him now might be fatal.
Well, we've got to get him to a doctor.
It might be wiser to bring a doctor here. I've seen enough cases of space fever to know when it's dangerous to move a sick man.
Commander.
Yes, sir.
Maybe this isn't such a good idea, but... Well, I was thinking about someone on our ship.
Langro?
Yes, sir. I know he isn't a licensed space doctor, but he knows a lot about it.
It's invaluable to Baccarati along that line.
Question is, could we trust him?
For right now, both Malengro and Baccarati might jump at a chance to do something decent, just for the sake of the record.
Yeah, since there's no chance to escape.
You stay here, Hap. I'll go back to the ship and get Malengro.
In an aft compartment of the Terra 5, Prince Baccarati and Dr. Malengro speculate on why their long flight to Terra has been interrupted.
What is Corey up to? Where have we landed?
Perhaps he's decided to take us to Pluto instead of flying straight through to Terra.
If this were Pluto, we'd be out of the ship by now.
Perhaps, Your Highness, Corey landed for minor repairs. At any rate, every moment of delay increases our chances for escape. Your Highness, someone's at the door. Commander Corey.
All right, Malengro, you can come out.
Well, Corey, it's about time you were putting me in a more comfortable quarters.
Not you, Baccarati. I just want Malengro.
I demand to know where we are.
Keep quiet. Malengro, you know how to treat a case of space fever?
Oh. Cadet Happy, sick.
Malengro, come out here in the corridor so we can talk. Come on.
Don't leave me, Malengro. Corey has no right to...
I asked you a question, Malengro. Can you treat space fever?
I will match my skill as a space physician with any doctor in the solar system.
Now's your chance to do something decent for a change. There's a man here on Pluto's third moon with a bad case of space fever. He's got to be moved in this ship.
Excuse me, did you say Pluto's third moon?
That's right. The man's a space prospector, so his partner says. If we can get him off here, we may be able to save his life. You could use a good deed on your record, Malengro. How about it?
Very well, Commander. If you will give me a medical kit, I will see what I can do.
All right, get into a spacesuit.
A few moments later, Buzz escorts Dr. Malengro through the airlock into the shelter on the third moon.
Do everything you can. Old Troy and I have been pals for 20 years.
All right, Skiller. Let's let the doctor alone. Happy?
Yes, sir?
Go with Malengro. Keep an eye on him and help him if he needs a hand.
All right, Commander.
Skiller, you stay here with me.
Oh, but my pardon, can't I?
There's nothing we can do. Besides, I want to ask you some questions.
Come on, Malengro, in here.
So you're prospecting?
Yep. Can't say we're rich, but we've had a lot of fun.
This is a fancy layout here, Skiller. Lots of expensive equipment.
Oh, well, you collected a few odds and ends. It's been a racket long enough.
You seem to have collected everything but prospecting equipment.
What's that?
You don't have any testing instruments or digging tools or ore samples. Just what are you here for, Skiller?
Well, Commander, I was afraid you'd get around to that. Since you've been so good about helping old Troy in there, I'll tell you. Boy and me have had a run of tough luck lately, so we tied up with Dinosaur.
Dinosaur? He's the biggest crook on Pluto.
I know it.
How do you fit in with him?
Well, Troy and me have been the sort of go-between. Sarka's gang robs the spaceship, turns loose over to us. We hide it here on the third moon till he sends somebody after.
So that's how he operates.
I wouldn't tell you this if Sarka hadn't let old Troy down and him fit the way he is. I'm good and mad. I'm going to tell you something maybe you don't know, Commander. Sarka's big, but he's not the top one. Sarka's taking orders from somebody else. Who, I don't know.
In the next room, Dr. Malengro examines the unconscious man. As Happy watches carefully, ray gun drawn. Malengro opens the medical kit and, with the sure movement of a professional, prepares the patient for emergency treatment. Then he selects an electro-injector from the kit and opens the patient's throat.
I'm going to need help, Cadet. What do you want me to do? I'm going to administer something to make him immune to acceleration effects. Sometimes there's an involuntary reaction to the electroneedle. Will you hold the patient, please? You mean hold his wrist? Yes. Hold him very tightly. You must remain absolutely motionless for 5 seconds. All right, I've got him. Steady now. This is a very delicate process. Oh, the injector slipped. Got you in the hand. What a pity. You can't even speak, let alone move. Now, I'll just take your ray gun. It'll be some time before you're able to use it. Thank you. Now to take care of.
Oh, Mr. Commander, that's all I know about Parker. How about your partner? He might know a little more, Commander, but we've been pretty close, Troy and me. I don't think he knows who Parker's working for.
Don't move, Commander.
Malengo!
Hey, what's going on here?
Help me get Corey into the ship.
You crazy? He's the commander.
Do as I say. I'll explain to your boss, Sarka. You'll dispose of the cadet when he comes to take you and your partner off the moon. Mr. Corey. He's going back to Planet X.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment. You have 1,750 chances to win a prize in the Name the Planet contest. That's right, Space Patrollers. If you act fast, if you act within the next 3 days, you may still win one of the 1,750 prizes in this amazing contest. But this is your last chance. You have only 3 more days to win the gigantic rocket clubhouse and $1,500. Only 3 more days to win one of the 750 Schwinn varsity bicycles. Only 3 more days to win one of the 1,000 other prizes. 1,000 pieces of real Space Patrol equipment. 250 powerful autosonic rifles, 250 Husky outer space helmets, 250 official Space Patrol emergency kits, and 250 handsome stainless steel Space Patrol wristwatches. But there's no time to wait. Only 3 days left. So go to your grocer's today and get a package of Instant Ralston, the new package with the picture of Commander Corey on the front. Now, on the back of the Instant Ralston package, you'll find the easy rules that'll tell you how you can win one of the 1,750 sensational prizes in the Name the Planet contest. So get some Instant Ralston at your grocer's right away, today. And now, back to our Space Patrol adventure, The Revolt of the Space Rats. While holding Prince Baccarati and Dr. Malengo and their ship as captives, Buzz and Happy responded to a distress call from a lunar cruiser that led them to Pluto's third moon. There, Pete Skiller, a self-styled prospector, led them to his partner who was suffering from space fever. Knowing the man's condition to be serious, Buzz brought Dr. Malengo in to treat him, leaving Happy to watch the wily doctor. Malengo used an instrument from the medical kit to paralyze Happy, and then, taking Happy's ray gun, Malengo rushed to the airlock of the prospector's shelter and overpowered Buzz, forcing Pete Skiller to carry Buzz to his ship. Now, Buzz regains consciousness in the control compartment of the Terra 5, with Baccarati standing over him with a ray gun.
Our position is reversed now, Commander. You are the prisoner.
Where's Cadet Happy?
Why, back on moon number 3, Commander. But don't worry. He'll be well taken care of.
But it wasn't that. Pete Skiller's working for you.
Pete Skiller? Oh, that old space friend. Yes, he's working for me. But he didn't know it until an hour ago. It was purely by accident that you landed on the moon.
And Daniel Sarka is one of your men.
Yes, Commander. A very valuable cog in my machine. If you had succeeded in getting me to Terra for a brainograph test, you would have learned something very interesting.
But you're going to tell it to me anyway, I suppose.
Yes, because you can't do anything about it. Sarka is about to destroy Pluto City. The scheduled time is, let's see, just 36 hours from now.
Destroy Pluto City? Oh, why? What good will that do you?
It will wipe out the nearest Space Patrol base to Planet X.
You'd wipe out an entire city just to destroy a few Space Patrol ships?
Of course. It is more economical that way, and less risk for Sarka. He can drop a cosmic bomb from a spaceship after his men are safely out of the city.
What about Happy? What are you going to do with him?
I haven't given it a thought, Commander. I suggest you worry about what is going to happen to you when I get you back to my castle on Planet X.
In the shelter on Pluto's third moon, Happy is recovering from the paralyzing effects of the electroneedle injection as Pete Skiller hovers anxiously over his unconscious partner, Troy Matthews.
Troy. Speak to me. Troy, can you hear me?
Skiller, listen to me.
Oh, very reason, Cadet. Can't you do something?
Look, Skiller, I know you want to help your partner. Why not?
Well, Sarka will hear.
He'll have his men blast us before help could get here.
So you're working for Jono Sarka, huh?
Yes. First, I thought it was just plain space piracy. Now I know it's something bigger. I wish me and Troy had stayed clear of it.
Something bigger? What do you mean?
There's somebody above Sarka. The doctor was here. He has something to do with it.
Malengo. That means Prince Baccarati.
Yes, it's Dr. Malengo. He said he'd have Sarka come here for me and Troy. Think he will?
Think he will. I'm afraid he will.
What do you mean, sir?
If Sarka shows up, well, he'll see to it that none of us get off this moon alive.
What are we going to do?
Get in your lunar ship and blast off.
What about old Troy? We can't leave old Troy.
Malengro's taking Commander Corey back to Planet X. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Well, if he succeeds, there are more lives than Troy's at stake. If we rescue the commander, we can save Troy, too.
All right. Tell me how.
Well, we can't hope to overtake the commander's ship in your little lunar job. If we could only... Hey, what's that stuff over there, stacked in the corner?
I don't know. Troy and me lugged it in. Sarka's gang took it off the cargo ship. Some sort of electronic equipment, I guess.
Yeah. It's space-phone neutralizing equipment. Huh? Frequency dampers. It blocks out space-phone signals.
Reckon that won't do us any good.
Wait a minute. Baccarati's robot patrol ships.
What about it?
Well, those unmanned ships Baccarati has circling Planet X. If a ship approaches, they send out warnings to his castle.
That's so?
Yeah, but with one of these neutralizers, we could block out the warning.
Son, you aren't thinking of sneaking up to Baccarati's castle in that little lunar ship of mine? Oh, you ain't got power enough to make a slow landing on a big planet like Planet X. You'd be smashed to bits.
Well, wait a minute. We could take over one of those robot ships. That could land on Planet X and maybe overtake Baccarati.
Maybe you got something, son. Yeah, but what about old Troy?
Well, we'll have to leave him here, Skiller, but, well, it's his only chance. And ours.
All right. So long, partner. We'll be right back.
With Happy at the controls, the small lunar ship speeds toward Planet X. As they near the defense perimeter, Happy cuts on the spaceophone damper to blot out warning signals from the robot patrol ships. A few moments later, a robot ship appears on the viewscope, and Happy changes vector. The sensitive detecting devices on the robot pick up the lunar ship, and the spaceophone faithfully transmits data to the receptors on Planet X. But the signals are neutralized. And skillfully, Happy joins airlocks with the robot ship, and he and Pete Skiller go aboard.
Great Open Comet. What a ship. Not a soul aboard.
That's right, Skiller. Circle Planet X on automatic pilot.
You run it by hand?
Sure, it's just as simple as your ship. All you have to do is kick this lever up to the pilot control position. There. Now we're on manual. This section of the panel has all the controls we need. Look familiar?
Sure does. Like my own ship, almost.
Right. Now we'll just cut your lunar cruiser loose and head for Planet X.
Sorry, Cadet. I got other plans.
What do you mean? Hey, where'd you get that gun?
Out of my ship. Now, let's not have any trouble, son. Just step back out of the way.
Skiller, what are you going to do? I thought we were going to...
I'm going back and pick up old Troy. This ship can land on Planet X and can blast off of Pluto's third moon without hurting my partner.
Now, Skiller, I thought we agreed to rescue Commander Corey first.
Sorry, son. I reckon I just ain't that big. 20 years it's been me and old Troy. But he fought for us, so we just didn't get in the habit of fighting for anybody else. Now, you just step down away from those controls.
Well, okay, Skiller. I'll step down. Now get this, Skiller. I'm heading for Planet X. With this robot ship, maybe we can overtake Baccarati and trick him into thinking his castle is surrounded. I can do it by myself if I have to, but I'll leave it up to you. Whose side are you on?
Me? Why, son, there ain't no question about it. I'm on our side.
With Prince Baccarati at the controls, the Terra 5 flashes across the darkness of space toward Planet X. Enjoying the turn of events, Baccarati keeps Buzz in the control compartment under the watchful eye of Dr. Malengo and his ray gun.
In a few minutes, we will be safely inside my castle, Commander. I will see that you are with me when the report comes in on the destruction of Pluto City.
Baccarati, listen. You've got to stop that plan. Call off Sarka.
Call him up? Why should I?
Wait, listen. It's a signal from a robot ship.
What is it, Malengo?
It's a warning. No.
Malengo, what is it?
It's a signal from robot patrol ship X-34, Your Highness. Enemy ships are approaching Planet X.
Space Patrol. Where are they?
Wait. If you please. Excellency, some of them have landed and near your castle.
What?
Your castle's surrounded.
Keep Corey covered. I'll fool the Space Patrol yet. I'll land on Planet X.
Your Highness, you can't.
Not near the castle, you fool. It's emergency blockhouse number 5. Hundreds of miles south of the castle.
Near the jungle?
Yes. If the Space Patrol ships are grounded, they'll never be able to locate us. Keep tuned to that robot ship.
Yes, Your Highness.
Feverishly, Cadet Happy works the code-sending apparatus of the robot ship, while Pete Skiller follows the Terrified toward Planet X.
Cadet, I think they're going to land. Good. I'll cut out the code signal. Cadet, take a look at that viewscope. We've landed the commander's ship. That means Baccarati will probably be leaving the ship.
Yeah. Then what do we do?
We'll set this robot ship down in the jungle and then work toward the commander's ship.
What if they see this ship?
Well, it's one of Baccarati's own ships, so maybe they won't. Well, maybe it won't alarm them. Anyway, it's a chance we've got to take.
While Malengo holds Buzz at gunpoint, Prince Baccarati sets the Space Patrol battlecruiser down in the jungle near a domed structure of concrete. Then the Prince and Malengo force Buzz out of the ship and into the squat fortress.
There, Commander. You'll be safe here from your own men. Watch him, Malengo.
Yes, Your Highness. This isn't going to get you anywhere, Baccarati. If Space Patrol ships are surrounding your castle, they'll have seen my ship land here in the jungle.
Oh, I'm not worried, Commander. Not worried at all. I intend to make myself comfortable here for a few hours until I hear from Sarka that Pluto City has been destroyed. Keep the Commander covered.
Your Highness, wake up. Prince Baccarati, wake up. Your Highness, look through the gun port. Someone's approaching.
What?
Across the clearing from the jungle.
It's a Space Patrol. The Cadet. Watch Corey, Malengo. I'll take care of the Cadet with this blast gun.
Baccarati, don't.
Watch this, Corey. See what happens to those who defy the will of Prince Baccarati. That was close. Now I'll finish him.
Your Highness, look out!
Malengo! You're right, gun.
Hold him, Your Highness.
Got him. Shoot, shoot.
Yes, Excellency.
Give me that. Oh. He's got the gun. Got the light. Got the light.
I got it. Run, Your Highness. Run for the door.
Commander.
Just a minute, Hap. Commander, you all right? Yeah. Baccarati and Malengo got away.
Where'd they go?
That door in the back. They cut off the lights and made for that door.
Let's blast it open. We'll get him.
Hold it, Happy. Let him go.
Huh?
Right now, there's something more important than catching Baccarati.
What do you mean, sir?
Commander, I saw him.
Killer.
You better hurry. They headed into the jungle. I'll show you. They just popped out of a hole in the ground and dashed into the trees.
Well, then we don't have to break the door down. They came out of that passage. If we hurry...
Hold it,
Happy. We're going back to the ship.
And let Baccarati get away?
We can't spare the time, Happy. If we blast off now, we can save Pluto City.
Pluto City?
Yes. I've picked up enough from Baccarati to round up Sarka and his gang before the city's destroyed. But we'll have to hurry.
Sarka, I'm with you, Commander. I'll help you and so will good old Coy. That is, if you'll take him off that moon.
I certainly will. I'm very anxious to talk to good old Coy.
I admit we did wrong, Commander, but I'll help you round up Sarka. I'm not the honest truth.
All right, Skiller. Let's get going. Come on, Happy.
Yes, sir. But I sure hate to give up hunting for Baccarati. Hey, look, the rockets, what was that?
Something in the jungle, Hap. Taking up where we left off.
Left off what, sir?
Hunting for Baccarati. Come on, let's go.
An action preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure in just a moment.
Space Patrollers, this is Commander Corey. Today is positively the last time I'll be able to tell you about the Name the Planet contest. You have only 3 days left to win the huge rocket clubhouse and $1,500, or a Schwinn bike, or one of the 1,000 other fine prizes. You must get your entry in the contest in the next 3 days. So today, right now, go to your grocer's and get some instant Ralston. Look for the package with my picture in the front. And don't forget, the easy rules for entering the contest are right on the back of the instant Ralston package. So act fast, act now, and win one of the terrific prizes. You've still got every chance to win if you get instant Ralston now.
And now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy have cornered Prince Baccarati in a spaceship on the surface of Planet X. Holding a half-conscious man before him as a shield, Baccarati works his way toward the controls.
All right, Baccarati. Let's go over the professor.
Don't come any nearer, Corey.
You're all through, Baccarati. Get away from those controls. It won't do you any good to try to blast off now.
It's the spaceophone I'm interested in. There. Now stay where you are, Corey. The transmitter is turned to a frequency that will set off a Krakenite bomb. One more step and I'll destroy Terra.
Be sure to join us next week for the thrilling story, Baccarati's Secret Weapon, when Instant Ralston and Regular Ralston again present Space Patrol! Space Patrol, created by Mike Moser, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson, executive producer Mike Devery. Other players were Baylor Kovach, Norman Jolly, and Ken Mayer. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when Instant Ralston and Regular Ralston again present Space Patrol!
This is Dick Tufeld in Los Angeles reporting on the first airplane with swept-back wings used in the U.S. Air Force, North American's F-86 Sabre jet fighter. In a moment, we'll hear from George Welch, the famous test pilot of the Sabre jet. The Sabre is 37 feet long, weight 8 tons. Wings are swept back at a 35-degree angle. Top speed more than 650 miles per hour. Now, George Welch, recorded at Edwards Air Force Base.
I was lucky enough to fly the F-86 Sabre jet for the first time. First time up, or the 50th, every flight is important. That's why I have to keep in top shape. I like to eat good food with lots of energy in it. Rice Chex and Wheat Chex meet that test, and they taste exactly right. I think you'll like them, too.
No other cereal, puff or flake, contains so much nourishment in such concentrated bite-sized form. So take a tip from George Welch, Joe Lynch, and other top test pilots. Make your cereals Rice Chex and Wheat Chex. All you Space Patrollers know that fire can cause a lot of trouble, so be careful with matches. Be careful when you're around the stove. Protect your home from fire. Be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol program on your local ABC television station. Consult your local paper for time and channel. This program is broadcast to our armed forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.